This guy's trying to make fun of me. He's saying LOL like loser online. Or am I reading into it too much? It's possible. It's quite possible. First toke of 2026, folks. What do you think? What do you say? I'm going for it. There you have it. All right, we got that out of the way. Folks. Yeah, 110 days without a single toke. But what better day than, well, 420's over. Of course. What better time than after midnight on the East Coast, since I'm in the East Coast, on the East Coast, for a tard like myself. Let's get into it. What's the news? What's the news like? So we got this executive order on psychedelics passed by Mr. Trumpster with Rogan and RFK. Check this out, folks. Check this out. In case you haven't heard about it, check this stuff out.
The executive order I'm signing, we're actually signing the executive order today, is really a moment. It directs the FDA to expedite their review of certain psychedelics already designated as breakthrough therapy drugs. If these turn out to be as good as people are saying, it's going to have a tremendous impact on this country and other countries too.
Joe Rogan, he's an amazing man, amazing podcaster.
I sent him that information. The text message that came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It's literally that quick.
Excuse me, sorry, I have to send a Truth Social really quick. We are winning more than anybody ever. Iran's Navy is at the bottom of the sea next to Bob, the great American sponge. And probably Patrick, the star with learning problem. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Sir.
JD.
I was wondering if we could go golfing later. We could do your favorite course, the one with the windmills.
I'm sorry, I can't tonight. I'm very busy. By the way, I was thinking about the new ballroom. What size should I make the statue of myself? Should I make it large or very large?
I'm not sure, but this Friday I got us theater tickets. 2 tickets to Trump the Musical at the Trump Kennedy Center. Hugh Jackman will be playing you, and Kid Rock is playing Melania.
Oh, unfortunately, I'm busy Friday. Elon's coming over.
Oh.
Yes, we're going to be making weed cupcakes, and then I'm going to ride his new rocket and probably play Call of Duty when Mom Donnie comes over.
Terrific. Seems like you don't have that much time for me, little JD.
Come on, stop whining, JD. You're ugly when you whine.
All right, I'm going for hit number 2. It's hit number 2. I'm coming in. I might as well feel it if I'm going to feel it. It's already past midnight. I didn't even.
Not your favorite.
I didn't even celebrate on 420. So maybe that's what. And then LA is actually getting at here is LOL, as in like, how are you doing a 420 stream when 420 is already over here on the East Coast? But you know what? It's not over on the Central or West Coast. So let's get to it. There is no Central Coast. Whatever. There kind of is. But all right, let's continue.
I suppose I'll just leave it here with you. Right.
No toy. Disappointing, JD. I have to send a Truth Social. We're seizing Greenland and making Canada the 51st state. Also, my tooth is loose, and I hope that the tooth fairy comes. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Yo, I heard that.
Don't you have enough McDonald's kids? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. Late at night, I picture you by my side. Truth socialing. Entire civilization will die tonight.
I did say that, didn't I?
Tweeted that. You're crazy.
Tell me something, JD. Did you gain weight in your cheeks? Because you look fat. Why do you wear your makeup like that? I'm calling your wife Usha and telling her you stole her eyeliner. And quite frankly, you're too clingy.
I'm off the deep end. Watch as I dive into the strain of hormones. I changed my whole brand just to hold your hand. I even like your front caboose.
It's quite nice, isn't
You've got a nice front, but it's a nice round.
Okay, that's enough.
In the Strait of Hormuz, in the very deep Strait of Hormuz, in the Strait of Hormuz, I like your front caboose. I'm off the deep end, I still want Greenland. I drink a lot of booze. Crash to the surface, just like a rocket. You're blockading the Strait of Hormuz. I might just dive headfirst into the Strait of Hormuz.
And quite frankly, I have a delectable front caboose.
Got a nice front ass.
So yeah, so we got some news there from Trump signing the executive drug, psychedelic drug executive order with Mr. Rogan and RFK in the background and some others. And then that was a newbie and a goodie from Mr. Austin Nassau, blockading the Strait of Hormuz. No more blockading the Strait of Hormuz. Blockading the Strait of Hormuz. Something like that. It's a banger. So the Onion supposedly launched a new bid to take over Alex Jones's InfoWars. Of course, they're calling it Alex Jones's as if he owns it and isn't an agent of it and for it and buy it. But yeah, so apparently they're going to take InfoWars, turn it into a parody platform, and Alex Jones is going to go to his own platform. And of course, this video is how long? 1 minute and 13 seconds. Wow, I just am noticing that right now as I say it. Why is that relevant, you might be asking? Well, of course, there's this whole thing. A cat trying to get out. They always want to come in and then go out and then come back in. It's like fucking dogs. Oh, and she got out on her own. So yeah, you have all things 113 deception. You know, of course, the scamdemic, plandemic announced on March 11th, 311 or 113 reversed. What am I? You know what? I don't have need this Rolodex that I have saved on the 113 code. Oh, well, there's not honest, right? Not honest, 113. Not true. I'm forgetting all that. Yeah, not true, 113. But anyway, it's the deception code, the 113, 311. Investigate 311, folks. Like Mr. Eric Andre said once upon a time. But check this out. I'm off the deep end here.
Satirical news site The Onion announced today that it's reached a deal to take over Austin-based InfoWars. You'll remember a bankruptcy judge set up an auction for InfoWars' website and brand. The Onion initially won the auction, and that spurred more legal wrangling, leading to a court-appointed administrator. Well, as first reported by the New York Times, the terms of this deal have the Onion's parent company paying $81,000 a month to license Infowars.com and the brand for the first 6 months, with an option to renew for another 6 months. Now, the deal is not official until a judge approves it, and commenter Alex Jones can appeal at any time. Jones was ordered to pay $1.4 billion for defamatory remarks about the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. He falsely claimed the 2012 school shooting was a hoax. The Onion's CEO said in his announcement that this new deal to take over InfoWars was reached with the help of the Sandy Hook families. Jones said on his show that he will fight the licensing proposal, but acknowledged that he and his crew could be kicked out of their building at the end of the month. He said he will continue his shows in another studio, adding that he's preparing to air on new social media accounts and websites, saying that it's going to be called The Alex Jones Show. He also said that he is not going anywhere.
So it's like The Onion of all like companies are going to buy out InfoWars. I mean, is that not just the most laughable thing you've heard in quite some time? Yeah, I think so. Shout out to Yere, the Matrix. Looks like he's live. Yeah, so the king of controlled opposition, some might argue. Here you go. Alex Jones is and always was controlled opposition of the highest caliber. It's hilarious how he's sued for billions and is doing just fine, and the sheeple are sleeping. Yeah, essentially. Onion is propaganda. I mean, It's kind of goes without saying, no? Not to say it's not funny, though. Someone said, and I agree to it to a degree with what they said. A little, it's a satirical parody news site, the only good one in my opinion. Most these days just make plausible but clearly misleading headlines to drive clickbait. But The Onion actually looks like parody. I mean, it is totally, obviously. If you ever watched it, then you know that The Onion is clear parody. But anyway, so there was this good video on to play by Mr. SMHP. Trump ayahuasca. There's a misspelling here on the ayahuasca. You don't need the U after. I don't think after. It's AYA, not AYUA. But anyway, ayahuasca. I have yet to experience ayahuasca myself, but I definitely have experienced mushrooms, and DMT and but ayahuasca is different because it's like those things mixed together and then on plant steroids essentially, because ayahuasca is a mixture. When taken with certain combinations, it activates the I'm not even on the tab, my fault. I thought I was sharing the correct tab, but yeah, Trump, ayahuasca, and an alien invasion, Project Blue Beam incoming. See some clips here from the show Inside Job that is on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix or if they took it off, but it's quite a revealing show, to say the least. Check this out. Another goodie, I'm sure, by Mr. Shane.
It's a beautiful day for a toast.
Indeed. Sun's out. Got my lucky loincloth cold Bud Light, comfy throne. I don't have the plague anymore.
Look, it's the Bud Light.
You, hold my beer. You, hold my other beer.
Archaeologists have confirmed that ancient Egyptians drank beer following the discovery of a 5,000-year-old brewery in the ancient Egyptian city of Abydos. Being possibly the world's oldest beer factory, is predicted to have had the capacity to produce some 22,000 liters of beer.
Lock the fridge. Guys, come on. It's my last one. You're not going to finish that. It'll take you a decade. My God, I'll never get over your strength.
Have you ever wondered who really runs the world? Everything you know is a lie, and the people who are really in control are.
Jesus, can we turn on the lights for once?
Some of us have hangovers, all right?
Our office manages every conspiracy in the world. Can you manage to show up on time?
Reagan Wrigley, you are so smart, but your people skills. What?
Everyone remember to do time cards! Time cards!
That's why I brought in someone to co-lead the team.
Red hand, thrilled to be serving whoever gives me approval.
You're just some yes man.
Yes, ma'am.
Joseph, I've been looking all over for you.
Okay.
So what happened?
It was terrible, brother. I was kidnapped.
No, Lucy. I meant Mom.
Oh, well, didn't you get my text?
What, you mean a string of nonsensical emojis? Fire, sword, donut, spaceman, clock, dancing lady, flashlight, thumbs up. How am I supposed to know what that means?
I ignited the flaming sword, used it to cut a hole in space and time. Mum's light flooded through it, then it closed it behind her. All good.
Oops. One more. All right, let's tap this cake. Giddy up, Peanut.
You're about to witness a quantum connection with the human mind.
Be a part of the next evolution in motion pictures and experience Mind Gamers, being hailed as the first ever action film for the mind.
Spark it up.
This exclusive live event includes the cast and filmmakers joining today's top scientists as they reveal a new dimension in human consciousness.
Single unified field connecting everything.
Then, during the film, 1,000 audience minds from coast to coast will be connected in a groundbreaking experiment. After Mind Gamers, witness live the first images ever captured of a mass mind collective.
This is wrong.
I'm all kinds of wrong.
Don't just see a movie, be a part of scientific and cinematic history. Mind Gamer.
The fiber optics light show makes the magic of pixie dust come alive.
The pixie dust is definitely out tonight, so stay with us, folks. Pixie magic, pixie dust, magic dust, pixie dust, magic pixie dust, pixie.
What is it? Pixie dust.
Pixie dust.
Pixie dust? Magic self-healing server pixie dust.
780 years ago,
Mind gamer.
The fiber optics light show makes the magic of pixie dust come alive.
The pixie dust is definitely out tonight, so stay with us, folks. Pixie magic, pixie dust, magic dust, pixie dust, magic pixie dust, pixie.
What is it?
Pixie dust.
Pixie dust.
Pixie dust. Magic self-healing server pixie dust.
How's it work?
Server goes down, sprinkle on the pixie dust, servers back up. Use it regularly and servers solve their own problems. Easy.
I like it. What's it cost?
It's cheap.
Cheap.
Soy-based.
Soy-based.
Biodegradable.
Looks like we got a winner.
He is speaking and signing an executive order. Let's take you to the White House.
You know, a lot of the people behind me, they're tremendous professionals, medical professionals most, and some military like Marcus, some great military professionals too, real hero. Today I'm pleased to announce historic reforms to dramatically accelerate access to new medical research and treatments based on psychedelic drugs. In many cases, these experimental treatments have shown life-changing potential for those suffering from severe mental illness.
Interesting in that respect, you know, with psychedelics, because we're verbal people and we inhabit a world of language as much as the physical world. And we're almost compelled to try to put some kind of a linguistic wrapper over everything, and which is one reason why if you smoke DMT, right, you have a complete revelation. It's amazing. It's all of these things, but it's in most cases you aren't even down yet before you're trying to explain it to yourself. Right. You know, you're trying to stuff this thing in a box because it was so impactful. It's inherently ineffable. You know, you can't really describe it in language, but boy, is there a desire to somehow tame this thing, which is incomprehensible, totally transcendent, but that doesn't stop you from rapping about it. And so on the individual level, this is what people do. Well, that's what religions do too, right? They try to take something like this and stuff it into a box because in and of itself, without that wrapping or that linguistic, filter to somehow tame it and, nullify, neutralize its power, these things are very dangerous.
There also seems to be some sort of a physiological component to the DMT trip where once it's over, you have a very limited amount of time to hang on to those memories.
Yes, well, exactly.
Yeah,
and so
what
this
is
is an
that?
attempt to entrain that, to grab it, and I think put a linguistic, tag on it in a certain way so that as a way to not forget it or try and, both reduce its power, but give you something to hang on because, right, the memory of what it actually is going to fade very rapidly.
Well, why is that? What's the physiological?
I don't know what the physiological.
But it's a lot like dreams.
It's a lot like dreams. It's a lot like dreams. I think that it's just, I don't know. It's something like that. You could probably train yourself to remember it better, just like people can train themselves to remember their dreams. But it's ephemeral. It does tend to evaporate. Which is why it's important to go to the well once in a while and take a drink. Right? I am not one of these people that says once you get the message, hang up the phone. That's a model that doesn't work for me. Actually, it might work for some people, but I feel like this is not an answering machine.
So that imagery was from the Space Needle, of course, on what was that, 2023 New Year? Let me see if I think I have that. Yeah, I have that video here somewhere. See if I can find it. Hold on. Let me play this in the meantime. Yeah, but it's this whole ritual just decoded and with the text and everything, but it was wild. I mean, they've done this a few times at the Seattle Space Needle. And, a lot of people think that there's some coming for Seattle at some point or Washington State. Like Jurassic Liars is always saying, get out of Washington. Make sure you're not in Washington State on June 11th. And, 1 year it might just come true.
Just go away.
Wouldn't doubt it at all. But okay, I guess, you know what? I'll just continue on this clip.
Some people, but I feel like this is not an answering machine.
Hey, are your ideas for global takeover falling apart? Are you losing sleep over humanity's mass awakening? Is false flag terrorism fizzling out? Global warming gone cold on you? Do you want those global warming deniers to just go away? Are all your phony economic crises being exposed? Is the price of gold defying all your attempts to fix it? Isn't killing the Gulf of Mexico and poisoning millions of people reducing the population fast enough for you? War, famine, and GM food not getting it done either? No? Well, don't give up. Get disclosure.
This is a teacher. This is something that is intelligent, that you have a dialogue with, and you don't, teacher teaches a lesson. You don't say, thanks very much. We're done now. It's an ongoing process. I've been taking psychedelics for most of my life, a good part of my life. I feel like I've only learned a fraction of what they have to teach me. And maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I don't get the message as well as other people, but I don't think so. I think there's a lot. They're full of surprises. I've taken ayahuasca, lost track a long time ago, but probably 500 times or more. And people say, well, surely you've learned everything there is to learn. Actually, no. I always learn something new.
You'll be able to unite mankind with a phony problem and enslave them with one world government and taxes. Yes, Disclosure, your one-stop shop for full spectrum dominance. But wait, there's more. Sign up for Disclosure today and you'll get problem, reaction, solution absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. Act now to be entered into our fabulous propaganda prize draw. Disclosure, our survey.
This is absolutely fantastic. I've never seen this clip before, but how wild is that though, that, that McKenna here, Dennis McKenna, who supposedly was, Terrence's brother, saying that he did ayahuasca probably 500 times. I mean, are you buying that one? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not sure about that. That's a hard one to believe, unless that includes all the times he's microdosed on it. And I mean, I don't know. I don't see how someone could possibly take ayahuasca 500 times. Not sure, but I guess if you take it every once a week at least, then yeah, possible. Take a long time. What would that take? That would take about a decade. So I guess it would be possible. If my math is mathing.
Show that 9 out of 10 world leaders prefer it. Disclosure, cleansing the minds of the unwashed masses with a tantalizing, terrifying, taxable new reality.
Peace. Peace, peace.
I'm only going to say this 3 times. Disclosure. Disclosure. Aliens may or may not be real. Your home may be at risk from those possible aliens. No major credit cards accepted because there's only one.
Yeah, first toke of the year, man. I just took 2 off the bubbler. I made it 110 days, 111 days, whatever. I think it's the 111th day of the year today. Got that triple ones. But yeah, I'm the tower in the middle of the 11s because born on the 11th month, November, which is really the 9th month, of course. There's your 9/11. See, I'm the tower. All right, I'm joking. Let's go.
Currency under a one world government. Prepare to die screaming, probably. Disclosure is compatible with Project Bluebeam. Do not.
This is great. This is just great. I got to rewind this.
Absolutely free. That's right. Absolutely free. Act now today and you'll just. Mankind with a phony problem and enslave them with one world government and taxes. Yes, Disclosure, your one-stop shop for full spectrum dominance. But wait, there's more. Sign up for Disclosure today and you'll get problem, reaction, solution absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. Act now to be entered into our fabulous propaganda prize draw. Disclosure, our surveys show that 9 out of 10 world leaders prefer it. Disclosure.
Yeah, you know what? Shout out to the unwashed masses. Shout out to Stephen Greer, Bob Lazar, all the people who are definitely not agents. And while we're at it, Joe Rogan, I mean, RFK, Trump, fuck it, let's just shout them all out. Alan Dershowitz, let's call them all out. Shout out to y'all.
The tantalizing, terrifying, taxable new reality. I'm only going to say this 3 times. Disclosure. Disclosure. Aliens may or may not be real. Your home may be at risk from those possible aliens. No major credit cards accepted because there's only one currency under a one world government. Prepare to die screaming, probably. Disclosure is compatible with Project Bluebeam. Do not employ critical thinking.
We're interrupting our coverage. There has been a threat to publicly release government material long shrouded in secrecy.
Are there people?
I think this movie's dropping any day or week now. Disclosure. Another Steven Spielbergenstein Cohen Bergowitz movie.
Do you think there could be others?
People have a right to know the truth.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world, all at once.
If you do this, there's no one doing it.
There will be no other day like tomorrow.
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today's.
Why is this like dubstep right now? Why does it sound like dubstep? Let me watch that one more time. Oh, look at that. I didn't even have to pull up the clip. This is the one that breaks it down. It looks like, go figure. But let's just watch that one more time because that was just, what happened there exactly?
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today is today's
Today, Junior. It kind of sounds like the Scat Man, you know? Invasion of the Body Snatchers, War of the World symbolism. You see it?
National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says it appears many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
We saw blinking, like lots of blinking things up in the sky. It really has been very disturbing knowing that all these drones are flying over the entire state.
The FBI, which is among several agencies investigating, released a joint statement with the Department of Homeland Security saying there's no evidence the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You won't believe me if I told you. So I'm going to show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world, all at once.
People keep wondering. Encountering the unknown.
You're going!
They are starved for the truth.
Do you think there could be others? Why would he make such a vast universe? Yet save it only for us?
E.T. home from
E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
People cannot come up here and see the indescribable beauty of our earth and not be touched in their souls. There's no borders. There is no conflict. It's just peaceful. And you see the thinness of the atmosphere. It makes you realize how fragile our existence here is.
La Terra è troppo fragile, è tanto capace di fare del male, di
It's so peaceful, you know, in this studio that we're filming this at.
distruggersi, no? E lei è andato proprio a guardare con gli occhi di Dio.
I am hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the 6th branch of the armed forces. That's a big statement. Aliens are going to be gone fast. The American astronaut embodied the incredible spirit of America, the confidence of a cowboy, the skill of a fighter pilot, the ambition of a scientist, and the courage of a true, brilliant, tough warrior.
We are going in with first wave. You smash the entire area. You kill anything that
They will face an enemy more devastating than any ever imagined.
Does the president believe in the existence of UFOs?
Somehow that question hasn't come up in our back and forth over the last couple days, but I will check into that and be happy to circle back.
And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
We're under attack, sir. We need retrieval now.
We're going to have the Space Force.
Someone made a damn mistake.
Somebody criticized me the other day because they asked me what I did, and I said, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. They got to be stopped.
Star Pictures takes you to the front lines.
Get them out of here. Get out. Kill them all. Space Force.
Troopers.
There is absolutely nothing Americans can't do. When we get together, there's nobody even close.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
The astronauts took to the moon.
Astronauts to the moon.
Yeah, tractor beam. Sucked me right in.
I was going to say thank you very much. I mean, that's, as a science journalist, my question is, through your career and your writing and your acting, you've inspired so many people to enter the sciences. How do you balance science with science fiction? They're both the same.
I'm excited about it. And the idea is to democratize space, to lower the cost of getting to many destinations in our solar system. And the reason you do this, everybody, the reason a society does this, there are two questions, Lauren, that we've all asked. Where did we come from? How did we all get here? Where did we come from? And are we alone in the universe? And if you want to answer those two questions, you have to explore space.
If I could turn the page and time that I'd rearrange just a day or two. Close my eyes. But I couldn't find a way, so I settled for one day to believe in you. Tell me lies. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Oh no, you can't disguise. You can't disguise. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Although I'm not making plans, I hope that you understand there's a reason why. Close your eyes. No more broken hearts. We're better off apart. Let's give it a try. Tell me lies. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Oh no, you can't disguise. You can't disguise. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. If I could turn the page and time that I'd rearrange just a day or two. Close my eyes. I couldn't find a way, so I settled for one day to believe in you. Tell me lies. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Oh no, you can't disguise. You can't disguise. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Oh no, you can't disguise. You can't disguise. Tell me lies, lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Our journey into space will not only make us stronger and more prosperous, but will unite us behind grand ambitions and bring us all closer together. Wouldn't that be nice? Every launch into the skies is another step forward toward a future where our differences seem small against the vast expanse of our common humanity. Sometimes you have to view things from a distance in order to see the real truth. It is America's destiny to be at the forefront of humanity's eternal quest for knowledge. It is America's destiny to be at the forefront of humanity's eternal quest for knowledge.
So, Mark, I put it to you, you're talking utter nonsense.
It's obviously utter nonsense. It's obviously insanity. In fact, I encourage anyone that's listening to the sound of my voice, don't Google flat Earth. Don't do it.
Take my word for it. I could be a mental patient recently released from an institution.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that people were alone on this planet.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Force field. The dome. We're at the edge of the arena.
Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. And it may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. And the light is shining through like never before, filling us all with the hope and the sure knowledge that the path will be a little easier next time.
I'll tell the government right now, tell you right now if you're listening, NSA, I'm available, okay? If you show me all the real wreckage, I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up stories. I'll lie to my mother. I don't care. You show me a UFO, I'll lie to my mother.
Yeah, in case you missed that, one more time. One more time, and just for the people in the back who maybe just got here and literally just didn't hear that, one more time. Look, you got the 88 there too, right there. Notice that 88 right there. October 30th.
I'll tell the government right now.
Dancing for dollars. Ho Rogan.
Tell you right now if you're listening, NSA, I'm available, okay? If you show me all the real wreckage, I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up stories. I'll lie to my mother. I don't care. You show me a UFO.
I'll lie to my mother, he said. How about that? You show me a UFO, I'll lie to my mom.
I'll lie to my mother.
I'm only going to say this 3 times. Disclosure! Disclosure! Aliens may or may not be real. Your home may be at risk from those possible aliens. No major credit cards accepted because there is only one currency under a one world government. Prepare to die screaming, probably. Disclosure is compatible with Project Bluebeam. Do not employ critical thinking.
The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite. You have given us entree to the resources we need in our ongoing quest for multidimensional expansion.
You still don't get it, do you, boys? There ain't no countries anymore. No more good guys. They're running the whole show. They own everything.
He's a tall,
running
Caucasian male, doesn't appear armed, wearing sunglasses.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
In the alternative version, the version before they actually came out with that, the original line was, I have come here to chew ass and kick bubblegum, or kick bubblegum and chew ass, but they changed it actually to chew bubblegum and kick ass, which I definitely think was a good idea. You know what I mean? I think that was a good take from from John Carpenter on his part. So anyway, let's go.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, that's all, folks. That's my line. Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all! That's all, folks!
Can I go home now?
Over the horizon.
Yeah, but what do y'all think about this? Snappy just got here, so he didn't see what I played for this video. Hold on. So yeah, shout out to Shaking My Head. So yeah, I played this video though from The Onion, or sorry, not from The Onion, but about The Onion, that The Onion launched a new bid to take over Alex Jones's InfoWars and turn it into a parody platform. Of course, if you know The Onion, it is, all parody, right? So you can go back and rewind and watch that one again. But basically, if you haven't heard about it, I just saw this. So here, let's play this one from a different.
The Onion has a new plan to take over Alex Jones's far-right conspiracy website,
InfoWars.
Jones was found liable.
I mean, he's not totally wrong,
for defamation after repeatedly calling the Sandy Hook massacre a hoax. He was
He's
ordered
not
to
wrong.
sell InfoWars to pay damages to victims' families. The Onion tried to buy the website in 2024, but a bankruptcy court killed the deal. Now the Onion's owner says they have reached a deal to license InfoWars and plan to turn it into a, quote, parody of itself. A judge will have to sign off on the plan.
So yeah, here you can see a video with who some people think is Chandler Bing in an alternative what do you call it, in actor-based reality theory, that Chandler Bing, aka Matthew Perry, faked his or her death and is actually Rachel Maddow. But anyway, that's a whole nother. Yeah, R.I.P. Roddy Piper, indeed. One of the greats. Easy to say. Grifton, clown, pogo, pedo, trash, NPC. Damn, that's hard. That's harsh. InfoWars brand probably about to be no more soon. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Will that be a shame because Alex Jones makes the internet better? I mean, you gotta appreciate a lot of these actors because they do sometimes bring a lot of entertainment and truth too. A lot, especially when they're 90% truther and like only 10% bullshit. Is when it's more entertaining, because you don't want to hear all bullshit. But so there's also this whole thing going on with the MK Ultra aspect that people are kind of taking into consideration when I think it's interesting, right, that this happened the day before Bicycle Day, which was 4/19. 4/19 was Bicycle Day. The anniversary of when supposedly Albert Hoffman discovered the chemical LSD, where it actually, the story goes that it penetrated his skin when he was synthesizing it, and then he went on a bike ride and had the whole trip experience. And that's why it's called Bicycle Day. And it was 4/19, and then of course you got 4/20, obviously International Pot Day. Which, interestingly enough, check this out. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is the origin story of 4/20. So 4/20 actually originated in 1971, among 5 high school students in San Rafael, California, according to the internet, right? Known as the Waldos. 5 high schoolish students known as the Waldos. The group was this guy Steve Capper, Dave Reddix, Jeffrey Knoll, Larry Schwartz, Schwartz, guys, and Mark Gravick. Use the term as a code to meet at 4:20 p.m. by the Louis Pasteur statue, right? Pasteur, the guy who pasteurization was coined after, and who essentially on his deathbed allegedly said that the germ is nothing, the terrain is everything, leading credence to Antoine Béchamp's name, who I don't think it's any coincidence that the guy's name is Antoine Béchamp, the guy who popularized terrain theory. Kind of what I get out of germ theory versus terrain theory in the most easy summation as I can is the fear of germs versus the sovereignty of, and strength of the human spirit they're insurmountable. You're talking about, the might of man versus the behavior of bugs, literally. Parasites. What's this now? But y'all are crazy, man. And yeah. Anyway, so back on sauce. Even if you don't like Alex Jones's effect, he has a document cam where you can zoom in on the document and do your research, make some valuable, and he's funny. Yeah. Austrian painter's birthday is supposedly 420 as well. That's why he's in the stream here. If you look at the top left, as you can see, the guy's realizing, it's 420, time to celebrate the weed culture by smoking massive amounts of weed. Oh, wait, it's 420. It's his birthday. So you're like, we're celebrating. It's, some people say like, oh, you're kind of like celebrating on Hitler's birthday. Like, are they just mocking us? Was it a fake story about the stoners and they actually just wanted everybody to be celebrating weed culture on Hitler's birthday? I guess that's one theory. That's one theory. But yeah, if you see in the middle right, you got the Joe Rogan experience / Trump experience overlaid on the actual ayahuasca experience with the shaman woman and the skeleton. And then of course you got the panel verse there. You got the panel verse. You got CBO, EBT, fucking Jesse Howell, Joe Cool, 6079 Smith W, The Machine Lies, Benton, We Are Awake TV. Dude, you got everyone right there. You got Jock Talcott. I think you got Mitch there between Zetetic Warrior and Talcott. Illumitami, Flow State, Host State, Bro State, and Moose, I think, Creatures there in the right. And then you got the meme in the middle with wow, I'm blanking on brother's name. Young and Fearless, right? And then your Tribe Creature, and then Talcott Creature again, and Paul, and Mitch, and O'Shea, and Christos, and myself, and OTW. And then you got at the bottom, you got the Trump executive order there with a bunch of pedo supporters, alleged pedo supporters, right? Allegedly. You got Trump, and then behind him RFK and Joe Rogan, and a bunch of other schlubs that I can't tell. Who cares, right? I can't tell, but I don't give a shit. There's a real story I'm from there. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because, one's got to wonder, right? If people start getting legal psychedelics, right? I mean, isn't anyone worried about nanotechnology and so you're actually paying for your own, upgrades, if you will, unbeknownst to you. But I mean, who would trust government weed in the first place? Getting weed from these dispensaries that are almost probably always government infested weed. I mean, anyway, but yeah, this 420 story, it's interesting how it revolves around this Louis Pasteur statue. But I should do the gematria on this term here, 420 Louis, 420 Louis, named after Louis Pasteur. But yeah, then it became just 420, serving as a discrete signal for cannabis consumption among the teens. The term spread globally in the 90s through the Grateful Dead fan community and was popularized by High Times magazine, which first reported on the Waldo story back in 98. But yeah, there was some story I was going to read, but I don't remember which link it was. I was clicking around at some different links. That's interesting how this story was posted about the true origin of 420 on 9/11, this past 9/11, the day after Charlie Kirk nonsense. And of course the anniversary of 24th anniversary. Oh no, that was the 25th, right? Or is this year going to be the 25th anniversary? Oh, this might be it was the 24th, right? What is this nonsense? Story of the Waldos. What is the bill actually saying? Is it just medical research? Are they going to open it up to citizens to get like a medical card for psychs? Yeah, I mean, here, let me check this out really quick. I had something pulled up, but I might have closed it. So let me see the number here on the psychedelic executive order. So just this is what the AI or the whatever the chat response search response is saying. This is Brave browser, so this isn't Google. This is Brave. So take it for what you will. But it says POTUS Trump signed the order on the 18th, which was 2 days ago, to accelerate research and medical access to psychedelic drugs, including ibogaine, psilocybin, MDMA, and LSD, for treating serious mental illnesses such as PTSD, depression, and addiction. I'm surprised ketamine's not on that list, but the order directs the FDA to expedite reviews of psychedelics that have received breakthrough therapy designation by issuing commissioners national priority vouchers, whatever the fuck that is, potentially shortening approval timelines to weeks. Commissioners national priority vouchers. Interesting. Key provisions of the order include $50 million in federal funding to match state investments in psychedelic research, with Texas being a primary beneficiary. Establishment of a right to try pathway for investigational psychedelic drugs, allowing terminally ill patients access under certain conditions. Instructions for the DEA and Attorney General to initiate scheduling reviews for psychedelics upon successful phase 3 trials and FDA approval. And emphasis on veterans' mental health, with endorsements from military veterans and advocates during the Oval Office signing. So, yeah, I mean, the whole potentiality and reality of likely reality of the nanoparticulates, nano things, whatever, that there likely will be inoculating into these substances that they're going to be giving people, whether it's powdered and pilled up forms of ibogaine microdosing or LSD or psychedelic, drug microdosing in some form or another. Shrooms, whatever. But yeah, it says the move follows advocacy from figures like Rogan, RFK, and veteran Marcus Luttrell, though concerns remain about ibogaine's safety risks, particularly cardiac toxicity. While the order does not immediately reschedule psychedelics, they remain Schedule 1 substances. It streamlines regulatory pathways and signals strong federal support for clinical development. But yeah, crazy. And what better time, right, than the middle of this seeming World War III stage theater playing out. Accelerating, and it's interesting also to see some videos going pretty viral right now, like from Video Advice. Maybe I could pull that up, actually. Let me see how long it is, though. I think it was from them. Yeah, with Bill Cooper. But supposedly Billy Coop was pointing to the times we're in right now, and 5 days ago, this one's got over 500,000 views. It's almost 2 hours though. I started watching a good amount of it, and it was on the Committee of 300, essentially, largely there for the beginning part, and then I didn't really get past the first 20-30 minutes. I think I was going to go back and watch the rest of it, but this one is a newer post here that it's from a day ago that also has got 150-something thousand views, but we're going to watch this one. So Bill Cooper said
there's always been a plan.
Said this would be playing out and that this would be the final stage, and explained why. He's one that I definitely probably hold in the more higher regard in terms of being a truth exposer, whistleblower of sorts. But yeah, not a shadow ban video at all. Quite promoted by the algorithm, so that's interesting to see.
There's always been a plan. They call it the great work, the great plan, the lost word.
We, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do.
It exists. It is being brought about. It is working its effect upon us now, today, as I speak.
Cooper said it from the beginning. There's always been a plan, a blueprint hidden in plain sight. He said it has been unfolding for centuries, and most of us never notice. But look around. Look at the speed of change today. Does it feel random? Or does it feel like someone is turning the pages of a script?
I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen because I've talked to them face to face, and they don't even hide the fact. That person will wear the throne of the world. Behind that person will be a council of what they call wise men who will really be the rulers. This poor guy is just going to be the fool they stick out there to take the brunt of the public wrath whenever it's necessary. Then you can knock him off if you want to. They just put somebody else up there.
Now, this is where the real material begins. Cooper spent years digging where most people never look, and what he found might change how you see everything.
Truth is what I'm all about. And believe me, sometimes I get caught in the deception just like everybody else, but it's not as easy to catch me in the deception as it is to catch most of you, because I've been caught too many times, and I learn from my mistakes. And I spend 99% of my time searching out the truth where none of you have ever looked. Some of you may have looked in some of the areas and some of the things that I've looked in, but I can guarantee you there's nobody in this room who has looked where I've looked as long as I have looked, as diligently as I have done it.
Cooper admitted he'd been wrong before. He said the truth is buried under layers of lies. But here's what made him different. He didn't just talk, he dug. He spent years in places most of us never stepped foot in. According to researchers who followed his work, Cooper's method was simple. Follow the paper trail. If a document exists, someone had to file it. If a secret society exists, someone had to write about it. So the real question isn't whether he was right about everything. It's this. If he could uncover this kind of information decades ago, what could you find today?
Now, what I'm going to try to do today is sort of give you some of what I've learned. And you can take it for whatever you think it's worth. I hope that you will take it out of here and use it to search for your own truth. Truth is not always cut and dried. It's not always black and white. You can't get into the concept that, hey, this is right and that is wrong and there is no in between, because that's not true. There are all kinds of in between all the time. And truth is elusive, folks. I have to tell you this. It's elusive at best, and it's hard to find. And the moment you think you know it all, you have lost yourself again.
The moment you think you have all the answers, you stop thinking. And according to Cooper, that's exactly what the controllers want. Today, with AI-generated content, deepfakes, and information wars, the line between truth and fiction is blurrier than ever. Maybe that's not an accident.
The moment that you say, I'm going to listen to him, and anybody that says anything different to him is wrong, you just totally destroyed yourself. Any opposing viewpoint, anything that opposes the status quo, if you won't listen to it, you're already brainwashed. You've closed your mind, and you are at the mercy of whatever manipulation they want to throw your way, because you've already determined that they're telling you the truth no matter what. You don't investigate. You have accepted blindly. That's the most dangerous thing that can happen to anyone.
Cooper warned against blind loyalty. To him, to any leader, to any news source, he said the most dangerous person is the one who stops questioning. Think about that. When was the last time you truly listened to someone you disagreed with? Not to argue, but to understand. Most of us don't. We've already decided who's right and who's wrong. And once you stop listening to opposing views, you stop thinking. According to Cooper, that's exactly how control works. Not by force, but by making you so certain of your own truth that you close the door on everything else.
Now I'm going to talk about this country and what it's all about. Some of you are going to disagree with me. And during this talk today, I'm going to make some of you angry. And I want you to understand this. If what I'm telling you up here is not true, it's not going to bother you. On my radio show, I use the term sheeple a lot. I can always tell when I hit the targets before I get the letters. How dare you call me a sheeple? That person wouldn't have wrote that letter if that person wasn't a sheeple. Because they would have known I wasn't talking about them, right? Only the person that the arrow hits gets angry. So the reason I'm telling you this, if you find what I'm talking about disturbing, I'm hitting you with some truth that is bothering you, that's really bothering you, and you need to look at it really closely, because it wouldn't be bothering you if it wasn't true.
A blunt way to put it. But research shows that people often react most strongly when a truth hits close to home. Cooper's point was simple. If you're offended, ask yourself why. Not to defend your ego, but to find what you might be avoiding. Today, social media outrage is a currency, but how much of it is manufactured to keep us fighting each other instead of looking up?
There are a lot of people who are extremely critical of my radio broadcast because they say I spend too much time on symbology and history and the mystery religions and all of these things that they write me letters and say, I don't care about that. It doesn't mean anything. Why don't you get into some nitty gritty? Well, they don't understand that is the nitty gritty. He who does not study and understand history is doomed to repeat it. And the same play has been being performed throughout the history of the world by what we call the builders, the controllers, the puppet masters, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to start right at the beginning and tell you exactly who they are and how to identify them. Okay? Because there really are puppet masters. There really are controllers. There really are builders, but they're not engaged in building buildings. They're engaged in building people. They're building what they call the perfect race. But because the knowledge, the truth has been withheld from the people. And that's how they manipulate people, is by withholding the truth and controlling them with the lies.
History repeats itself. Not by accident, but by design. That's what Cooper kept saying. And he didn't just say it. He showed it. He spent years tracing the same symbols, the same rituals, the same power structures across centuries. From ancient mystery schools to modern government seals. From the Roman Empire to Washington, D.C. Why? Because if you understand the pattern, you can predict the behavior. And if you can predict it, you're no longer a victim of it. You can see the strings. Cooper's point wasn't to scare you. It was to arm you. He believed that once you learn to recognize the architecture of control, it loses its power over you. You stop being manipulated because you start paying attention.
You have to understand the agenda. You have to understand who's bringing it about and why before you can see the manipulations and how people are being used and manipulated to bring it about. How many of you believe that this is a Christian government? How many of you believe that it was founded as a Christian government? I hate to tell you this, but you're wrong. This country was built by Christians because that's the majority of the people who originally came here. And a lot of the things that they believed in is reflected in our laws and in our traditions and in our government. But the government was never meant to be Christian. Many of them were members of the secret societies. How many of you believe Thomas Jefferson was a Christian? I'm not afraid. I believed that until I read the truth about Thomas Jefferson and studied his life. Thomas Jefferson hated Christianity. Thomas Jefferson tore up the Bible. Thomas Jefferson wrote his own Bible because he said the God of the universe could not possibly be a terrible God represented in the King James Version of the Bible. Don't be afraid to read it, you folks. Nothing that I'm going to say is intended as a personal slant or insult or attack upon anybody in here. But I need your cooperation in order for us all to learn.
Thomas Jefferson took a razor to the New Testament. He cut out every miracle, every supernatural event, every claim of divinity. He pasted together his own version of the Bible, one he could believe in as a man of reason. That's not a rumor. That's a book you can still see today at the Smithsonian. So here's the question Cooper kept asking. If one of the main authors of the Declaration of Independence wasn't a Christian, why were we taught that America was founded as a Christian nation?
So was Benjamin Franklin. How many of you knew that Benjamin Franklin was the master of the Masonic Lodge in Philadelphia? How many of you knew that he was the master of the Lodge of Nine Muses in France? Have you ever studied the Lodge of Nine Muses? Boy, you better. See, these are things you don't know because you were taught something different and it makes you uncomfortable to hear what I'm telling you, only for the reason that you've been taught something else and you've been reared with it and you've accepted it. It's hard to let go of something that you have learned and accepted that is not true. You don't want to let go of it because then you have to give up your comfort zone. How many of you know that George Washington was a Freemason? How many of you know if you're a Freemason, you cannot possibly in your wildest dreams be a Christian? It's absolutely impossible. And I can show it to you in their own words. And you don't even know the slightest, teeniest bit about his real involvement in the secret societies. He founded a military order, a secret order of his military officers, the generals and senior officers of the Revolution, also known as the Knights of the Golden Circle. You see, all of this has happened over and over and over and over and over again throughout the history of the human race. These people know how to lead us wherever they want us to go because they study history and we don't.
George Washington, Benjamin Franklin. Many of the men we revere as founders were deeply involved in secret societies. According to Masonic records, this is well documented. But how many history classes mention it? Cooper's point wasn't to attack them. It was to show that the game has been played for centuries. And if we don't study the rules, we'll keep losing.
If our founding fathers were deists and they were members of the secret societies, and some of them were masquerading as Christians, and some of them were just flat weren't Christians, weren't masquerading at all, why did they create this country? They came here to create a new world, not a country. How many of you really read what they wrote? They didn't come here to create a country. They came here to create a new world. What else did they call it? The grand experiment, the great experiment. Remember reading those words? And just read right over them, didn't really understand what it meant. They came from a world that was oppressive, ruled by kings and queens and popes and prelates and bishops and lords and barons. So they did something that was unheard of, never been done in the history of the world. They set the cattle free. They said, you're not really a serf. You're not really a slave. You're not really as dumb as they say you are. You're not really a bunch of cattle. Now you're free men. You got brains. We're even going to write this contract to guarantee your freedom. But you know you won't keep it because you're human. And they wrote about that, didn't they? Didn't they tell us all the ways that we would give it up? Didn't they write about it? Didn't they warn us over and over and over and over again? In all of their writings, they knew we would give it up because we're human. And they were geniuses who understood human nature probably better than any single group of men that's ever lived throughout the history of the world.
The founders didn't just create a country. They launched an experiment. They knew human nature. They knew that power always tried to expand. They knew that freedom is hard work. And most people eventually choose comfort over vigilance. That's why they wrote the warnings in plain English. Not for themselves, but for us.
What did Ben Franklin say when he came out of the Constitutional Convention after everything was signed, sealed, and delivered? Somebody said, hey, Ben, what have you wrought? See, a republic, if you can keep it. He knew. They all knew. What was it really about? Why did they give it to us if they knew we would give it up? And they did know. Make no mistake about that. They knew. What do you think the fight over federalism was all about? They wanted to make sure that at some future point, the great central government would seize control.
A republic, if you can keep it. Those are the actual words of Benjamin Franklin. According to historians, he understood that the greatest threat to liberty would come not from kings, but from within, from a central government growing too powerful. Today, the debate over federal versus state power is as heated as ever. Cooper believed the founders designed the system to be fragile on purpose, so we would have to fight to keep it.
And by the way, if you want confirmation of what I said about the founding fathers, if you really believe that they were Christian, go look at the city that they laid out from the air. Look at the symbolism that they built into it. All deist, all Masonic, all Jacobin. It's another word for Jacobin, illuminist. Go into the Capitol building, stand right in the center of the rotunda and look straight up at the dome where nobody ever looks. And what do? You see the apotheosis of George Washington. Riding across the heavens in the chariot of Apollo. Who is Apollo? George Washington. He's become God now. And around the perimeter of the Capitol dome, you see all the old gods of the Roman pantheon. They're all there. Zeus, Mercury, Prometheus, all of them. What's that doing on the inside of our Capitol dome if this country is a Christian nation?
You can see it for yourself. The Capitol Rotunda, the fresco on the dome is called the Apotheosis of Washington. George Washington ascending to heaven like a Roman god. Around him, figures from Greek and Roman mythology. And here's what's happening right now. The government is spending $60 million to restore that dome. They're repairing more than 1,000 cracks. They're preserving every detail. Why spend all that money on a painting that supposedly has no meaning? Meanwhile, there's a debate raging in America about Christian nationalism. The idea that this country was founded as a Christian nation. Some people are rewriting history to fit that narrative. But Cooper's question still stands. If this is a Christian nation, why is its most sacred government building decorated with pagan gods? The symbols don't lie, and they're spending millions to keep them there.
Now, there's some people you can listen to who are not gurus. God's not whispering in their ear. They don't have a crystal ball. But they are what I call the inner circle. They know what's coming. They're part of it. And when they write or they talk, you'd better listen to them. One of them's Henry Kissinger. Listen to Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger doesn't just get up and jaw. If he says something that's important, listen to him. Whether you like him or not doesn't make any difference. But I've discovered that most people who ever meet him really like him a lot. Very charismatic, very polite, very gracious, very nice guy. It's also one of the biggest traitors that's ever lived. Another one that you have to read is Foreign Relations. Foreign Relations is published by the Council on Foreign Relations, and you can subscribe to their publication. Whatever they write in there usually happens about 2 years later. Whatever it is. It's almost like magic. If they're not involved in any of this, how come what they write about always happens? Almost everybody in government belongs to the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission, or both. They speak in a code that they understand perfectly. The average person hasn't got the slightest idea what they're talking about. And if you don't study them and their symbology and what they believe in and what their agenda is, you'll never know. You could read this and never know what this guy's saying. Oh, that sounds nice. That's what most people say. Oh, that sounds nice. Doesn't it sound nice in a way? But if you really understand, it's not nice at all. What they're saying is, screw you, we're going to enslave you. We're going to engineer how you live, how you think, how you work, everything.
You've probably heard of the World Economic Forum. Their 2030 scenarios are all over the news. Predictions about how technology and geopolitics will reshape the global economy. But here's what they don't tell you. The WEF is just the face, the visible tip. Beneath it are older, more powerful, far more secretive organizations. The Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission. These aren't theories, they're real. Their memberships are published, and year after year, what they propose quietly becomes policy. The 2030 Agenda, the Great Reset, the reshaping of global governance. It's not random, it's a blueprint. There's a pattern here, a hierarchy. The WEF sets the narrative, but the CFR and the Trilateral Commission, they set the strategy. They've been planning decades ahead, while most of us have been watching sports and scrolling through our phones. Cooper pointed this out 30 years ago. He said they speak in code, and if you don't study them, you'll never understand what's really happening.
Here's also what he says on page 9. Now, if you don't understand the Ordo ab Chao technique, order out of chaos. By the way, that's the motto of the 32nd degree of Freemasonry. Ordo ab Chao. We'll just devolve everything into a state of chaos, and out of that, we will bring order to the world the way we want. And everybody will get down on their knees and thank us for restoring order and security to their lives. And they will be willing to give up anything to us for that favor. Quote, in the United States today, as in many other countries, the collection of second and third waves creates social tensions, dangerous conflicts, and strange new political wave fronts that cut across the usual divisions of class, race, sex, or party. All the old polarizations and coalitions break up, end quote. Toffler even admits that there's a plan. On page 10 of his book, quote, life may indeed be absurd in some large cosmic sense, but this hardly proves that there is no pattern in today's events. In fact, there is a distinct, hidden order that becomes detectable as soon as we learn to distinguish third wave changes from those associated with the diminishing second wave, end quote. There's always been a plan. They call it the great work, the great plan, the lost word. There's all kinds of words for it. It exists. It is being brought about.
Order out of chaos. It's the motto of the 32nd degree of Freemasonry. But according to Cooper, it's also the strategy of global power. Create crisis, then offer solution. Today, look at the headlines. Pandemic, war, inflation, social division. Each crisis is followed by calls for more central control, more surveillance, more power to the same institutions. Cooper wasn't saying the crises are fake. He was asking who benefits from the chaos and who gets to define the new order.
Now, I'm going to just give you a little demonstration of the degree of control that is already in effect in this country concerning communications. Now, if you're smart, you know that if you turn the dial on your radio and on your TV set and on every news story, it has the same slant in the same words, and it's the same stories. You know that the news and the media are controlled. If you don't, you're not playing with a full deck of cards. Okay? It is absolutely absurd to believe that all these different networks, news stations, newspapers, and radio stations are all owned by different people, yet they all carry the exact same stories every day, worded in the exact same way, with the same agenda and the same slant. You see, if they were all separate and independent, that could never happen in a million years, because no two people ever attach the same importance to the same event or the same slant on the same story unless they're handed it.
Try it yourself. Turn on CNN, then Fox, then MSNBC. Different hosts, different tones, but the stories often identical. The framing often identical.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
According to media ownership records, most major outlets are now owned by just a few corporations. Cooper said this decades ago. Today, it's even more concentrated. Independent journalism still exists, but it's harder to find, and it doesn't pay as well. So the question is, who decides what you see?
If you don't understand that freedom and liberty must be creator endowed, then you are opening the door for somebody to take it away from you, because they don't have to answer to a creator. You understand? So even if you don't believe in God, you better start. If you want to stay free. If you want to stay free. If you don't care about freedom, you don't have to believe in God. You see, there must be something that human beings answer to protect us from ourselves. Because the minute we become God, how many of you in here want me to be God? I don't want me to be God either, because I know who I am. I know the temptations that I'm subject to. I have seen what power can do to people, and I might fall prey to that same corruption that would allow me to use that power wrongly.
Cooper wasn't preaching. He was making a political point. If rights come from government, government can take them away. If rights come from something higher, nature, a creator, or whatever you believe, then no government has the authority to revoke them. According to the Declaration of Independence, that was the founders' stated view. Today, many argue that rights are granted by the state. Which version do you think leads to more freedom?
We're in this situation because all of us, me included, we're dummies for most of our lives, unless...
I don't know why it's not letting me, it wasn't letting me pause there, but yeah, the quote, if rights come from government, government can take them away. If rights come from something higher,
then no government has the authority to revoke them.
And no government has the authority to revoke them.
According to the Declaration of Independence...
Yeah, I mean, invoking common law, essentially. Not common law as much as natural law.
The founders' stated view.
You get my point.
Today, many argue that rights are granted by the state. Which version do you think leads to more freedom?
We're in this situation because all of us, me included, we're dummies for most of our lives. And unless we change that, we are never going to turn anything around.
It's funny how he could pass as Jordan Maxwell right there in a silhouette where you can barely see him because it's like kind of murky. But there's that whole theory too that some people actually think like Jordan Maxwell's Bill Cooper. That's, you know, the actor-based reality thing. I don't entertain it. Who knows though? We live in a weird world, but I doubt it.
Is the cold, hard truth, whether we like it or not. And we all, at some point in our life, have to go in the bathroom, confront our own self in the mirror and say, Bill Cooper, you've been a fool for most of your life. What is the matter with you? You've got to stop it right now. You've got to stop being stupid.
A humble ending from a man who risked everything to speak. Cooper's final message wasn't about them. It was about us. According to him, the first step to waking up is admitting we've been asleep. Not out of shame, but out of honesty. So here's the question. What will you do differently after hearing this? If nothing changes, then nothing changes. As Cooper said, we've been fools long enough.
I know that's right, dude. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. I mean, come on. Couldn't you guys agree on some level? On some level, couldn't you agree that, you know, you're kind of retarded in some aspects? Everyone is in some way, shape, or form. But, so we covered this a little bit. Did I kind of go over this or did I skip? Let me see here. I guess I kind of skipped out. But I read the synopsis of it on the Brave search result. But it also says that the abandoned crop in Point Reyes Forest, the one that they were supposedly looking for or something. Wait, you know what? I'm kind of skipping ahead, so I might have the story wrong. But yeah, they had a hangout spot. These guys, the Waldos, that apparently smoked at this spot, that the one that 420 got coined from. And yeah, they were high school athletes. 4:20 p.m. marked the end of their extracurricular sports activities. Such a weird story. You see this guy doing the hands here. So this is one of the guys, I guess. I guess these are the 5 people that coined, well, not coined as much as popularized the 420 moniker that then got coined as the, you know, weed celebration number. But 420 blaze it, faggot, you know what I mean? Some might say. But it says a member of the Waldos had familial ties with the band's bassist, the Grateful Dead's bassist, and managed his side bands. So, you know, if what's true about the theory that the Grateful Dead was kind of a CIA psyop, you know, on the people, the free love counterculture, somewhat CIA encouraged psychological operation, involving, you know, the psychedelic drugs and MK Ultra with LSD use and that whole bunch of jazz. Here, let me continue. So it says that the connection allowed the Waldos to introduce the phrase 420 to the musicians, their followers, and the organization. The term spread within the community and reached a broader audience when Deadheads distributed flyers at a December show in 1990, inviting people to meet at 420 on 420 for 420ing. So, yeah. Those are your guys there. 2. Oh, no, they all call him Waldo. So Waldo, Mark, Jeff, Steve, Dave, and Larry. And Larry's looking like Jay Leno there with the Illuminati hands. But anyway. So there's that. There's that. What else do we got here? What was I looking at over here? Oh, the 113 code. Well, you know, I'm curious to see if there's any 420s with like cannabis. I spelled cannabis wrong. Let me see. Marijuana. Marijuana was originally with an H. Marijuana. But with a J. That's funny. It's got the 88. But no, let me see. I'm looking up all the values. Weed, pot. Here, I'll just enter them in to see if there's any links there. What else? Skunk? No, I don't think I'll put it in, whatever. Reefer, right? Reefer. Oh, Reefer's 33. How about that? So yeah, I don't see anything really on the surface sticking out to me connection wise. But anyway, so I just wanted to play around with that for a second there. But what is, oh, remind me of the whole Bill Hicks's Alex Jones thing. Yeah, so some people really are, you know, I don't know. I could see it being a thing. That I don't doubt anything, man. I've seen some videos that kind of convinced me it's possible, but you know, I don't know how much I entertain the actor-based reality theory, if that is the right name for that whole theory, which I'm pretty sure it is. You know, the theory that, you know, this actor's that actor is this actor, essentially. If I could sum it up in the most layman's terms way, basically just, yeah, you know, Ice Spice is what's her face, and fucking, you know, this nobody is this nobody. I mean, there are some interesting ones, right? Like how Taylor Swift, people think is the reincarnation of, or the clone of Zena LaVey, the wife of Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, who I'm pretty sure she helped co-author the Satanic Bible, or unless she authored it, she at least co-authored it. I forget, but yeah, she does look a good deal like Miss CIA psyop Taylor Swifty. But Sherelle Snow with 420. What's that mean? Remind me of. Okay. Yeah, if you come back down here, hit me up. Check out Smith's Decoder. You serious? Is he back on the video upload game? This is just crazy though, man. I'm curious to see like how this plays out, you know? Are we gonna literally see drugstore availability, like where you can go to a frickin' Walgreens and get microdoses of, you know, psychedelics with potentially nanotechnology in them? I don't know. It's possible though. I could see it. Grateful Dead will host parties. I hosted the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Ken Kesey, and his psychedelic Merry pranksters who spread LSD throughout the country. I knew blue was a designer. Okay. Yeah, wouldn't doubt it. What was I looking at in the background here? Oh wow, this is the other stream from the other day. It's weird how right as this last stream was about to hit like 100 views, this shit always happens, but it'll be like 99 views, and then I'll go back within several hours after, and then it's back down to like 91. Like what? How does that work? How do views get taken away all the time? It's very bizarre. But yeah, if you know how this stuff works on this platform, then you know what's probably going on there. Anyway, so frazzled.rip, Anthony Wienerface's laptop in the 2010 Haiti scandal. Man, all that Laris Silsby stuff, remember that? Good gosh. Frazzle trip. Someone said about Cooper, this dude called out 9/11 or 9/11 being a conspiracy before 9/11 happened, and then they executed him. I mean, that's sure what it seemed like. And anyone saying otherwise, I mean, just isn't applying, you know, deductive reasoning and critical thinking, putting these things together and kind of seeing the forest for the trees, because it seems pretty damn obvious that that's what happened. Oh, but he wasn't paying his taxes. I mean, yeah, that I don't doubt that too. I mean, is that justification for killing someone? I mean, apparently, according to some people. So, see if Jake GTV put anything else new out, because I haven't seen any of his stuff in a while. But I noticed he did I watched a short with him and freaking what's that guy's name? Jake. I mean, not Jake. That wrestler guy that kind of like almost like seemingly wannabe Joe Rogan, new wannabe Joe Rogan kind of guy. Oh, there he is. It's Jake Shields. So they're both Jake, the Jakes. But here they do a video reacting to IDF soldiers, settler scum in Israel or in Palestine. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything new though. 10 days ago. You try watching Iran escalate, but the anchors keep noticing. I feel like playing a little bit of this because I actually don't know if I watch.
Welcome back to Jake TV News.
Is Satan dead or not?
Well, apparently he was taken to Germany. Dude's in a coma.
What? Ching Chong, break it down for us. Chloe and Michael, good morning.
Ching Chong, break it down.
Morning. We're here in Berlin outside Satan's plane, the Wing of Zion, aka the Flying Hospital, where flight trackers caught it circling the Mediterranean while putting him in a medically induced coma. Allegedly, of course.
Shut it down, King Chong. He's alive. Haven't you seen his proof of life videos? The six-finger thing was debunked by the Times of Israel. Same with the coffee cup. Back to the goislup.
Jeez, all right, producer Greg, we'll play the videos.
Yeah, don't want to end up like Jackie.
Good call. Yeah.
Here's proof that Satan is still alive. Was that AI or was he absolutely bricked?
Dude's packing a meat hammer.
Yeah, that was the wrong video. Play the AI video. Okay, so here he has his ring on. And
there it goes, just like a magical jujitsu.
how about the coffee cup video? All right, so this one isn't obvious for the normies, but that cup should have
They
spilled.
literally can't get the proportions right, I swear.
Yeah, let's go to the investigation team to break this down.
Okay, so besides the overfilled cappuccino, look at the dude's head. Just look at the shape of his nose and ears. Either that's a decoy or they think we're retarded.
Just because you retarded goyim notice a couple AI anomalies doesn't mean our sugar daddy is dead. Noticing is antiseptic. Now interview the normies that still support the chosen people.
Quick question, what do you think of the bomb school children?
Dude, not another freaking liberal, bro. You all have TDS. Get lost.
Fair enough. Quick question, would you send your son to Iran?
Buddy, I just got off a 16-hour shift. My wife's at the club right now. Leave me alone.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, bro. What do you think about supporting Greater Israel?
They're chosen by God to genocide the sand people. And I think the Bible says to bless the people that killed Jesus.
Nope, it actually doesn't say that,
Yeah.
like at all. But
my pastor says otherwise.
Let's check out your church.
God will not bless you unless you bomb the shit out of the sand people. It says that in Genesis somewhere. Trust me, bro.
Thanks, Pastor Bird.
This just in. Trump and Steen just announced Iran has to open up the Strait of Hormuz or he's sending them back to the Stone Ages.
Wasn't it open before he decided to bomb them indiscriminately?
Yep.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night. Where every power plant.
Have you guys ever seen the video of John McCain doing the bomb, 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 bomb Iran thing? That is one you got to watch if you haven't seen that one. Maybe he'll play it here. I doubt it, but that would be ironic. Great clip. Shout out to John McCain.
In Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition.
What an asshole. Yeah, so for Easter, he decided to tweet this. Open the f***ing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. And then proceeds to mock their religion by saying, praise be to Allah. Dude's definitely controlled by Jews.
I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
Thanks, Donald Steen. Yeah, so imagine if a country bombed the Golden Gate Bridge. Would call that terrorism, right? Well, normies don't get that, so let's hear from the White House.
How does this benefit the American people?
Good question. By supporting the chosen people, we can usher in the Antichrist and bring back Jesus.
When can we finally start doing our satanic sacrifices in Israel?
Good question. Our Secretary of War, Mr. Hegseth the Shabbos Goy, will be ushering in Revelation for us. How is he ushering in Revelation?
Well, he's a hardcore Zionist who wants to destroy the third temple and start a holy war for the Jews.
Seriously?
Dead serious. Take a listen.
Zionism and Americanism are the front lines of Western civilization and freedom in our world today. And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen.
What the heck is a third temple?
It's where Jesus whipped the Pharisees when they were sacrificing things.
Oh, I thought Jesus said it would be destroyed.
It was. That's right, guys. But now Islam owns it, so destroying that thing will be the beginning of World War III and the New World Order. Ching Chong joins us live from Iran.
We're here at the wreckage site where Iran shot down 2 C-130s, carrying American Goyim over Iranian airspace. After Iran's footage from Iran forced the White House to speak up, our Israeli-controlled government just won't admit it. My guess, boots on the ground and American soldiers dead. Allegedly, of course. Let's ask Stu Peters for the breakdown.
These planes were flying equipment into the region. They were flying in men. They were flying in an American fighting force to launch a ground operation in Iran. And in the process of doing that, they got blown the f*** up. And like I said, the fried remains of an American soldier are easily visible to anyone who zooms in on this wreckage. This was a bloodbath.
Shut it the heck down, Stu. That's all sand propaganda. We blew up our own planes, you goyim. Now, back to the goy slobber. Your ass is canceled.
Jeez, someone get this man some pizza and grape soda. Am I right?
Seriously, it's like he's allergic to the truth or something.
Straight up. Stu, tell us more about the incident.
Did they extract any of their bodies? Or were all of them left behind like that guy? Who is he? Will we ever know? What are they going to tell his family? What are they going to tell his mother or his children, if he has any? What are they going to tell this man's son?
Not my problem, Stu. Look, you guys are like worth less than us. The Talmud says that.
Yeah, no, she's right. Good call, Daisy. We don't want to be antiseptic.
Thank you. Now back to the goy slop.
Holy shit, we just hit the jackpot! If you guys want to be rich like me, just use my referral code for $20 of free gambling.
In partnership with Goyslop Jr.
That guy totally mogs.
I hate myself.
Gosh, I could go for some cheesy goy slop right about now.
I'm craving that seed oil sundae. But anyways, let's...
What's scary is how, like, close to reality a lot of this stuff is and how I feel in my head a lot of the times when I'm watching just, like, television ads, because apparently, I mean, sometimes there's TV that I'm not necessarily trying to watch when I'm sharing the house with people. So, you know, that happens. But I do watch TV on my own also. So I can't say totally that I'm not guilty of watching television. Sometimes telling lies to my vision. But yeah, you got to stay ahead of the programming is obviously the key. Always. Firstly, and first most.
Hear what the normies are talking about.
What's happening, my guy?
What's up, bro? Just trying to look max. Trying to get my maxilla to grow. Oh, and I got these hype boosters for Morgan. Do you support Israel?
Dude, the Zionist occupation must be stopped. Iran is fighting for all the goyim.
Holy shit, my heart is pumping right now. She's beautiful.
Do you support Project Epstein Fury?
Of course. Didn't you hear Iran was going to drone strike California?
You actually believe that? Let's ask the Jake GTV investigation team.
Okay, so 4 drones were stolen.
This girl's
strike California?
You actually believe that? Let's ask the Jake GTV investigation
team.
team.
Who is this?
Okay, so 4 drones
chest shirt. Who is this? Is this like a Rothschild or something? It looks like they're doing the one eye. Like it could be. It's not King Charles. I don't know who that's.
Didn't you hear Iran was going to drone strike California?
You actually believe that? Let's ask the Jake GTV investigation team.
Okay, so 4 drones were stolen. Fort Campbell, November. Then 2 months later, FBI quietly tells California, "Hey, maybe there's an Iranian drone strike coming."
This guy kind of sounds like what's it?
We should definitely check.
Eyebrows McGee, whatever his name is, Ben Shapiro, for some reason. Does he not?
Then 2 months later, FBI quietly tells California, hey, maybe there's an Iranian drone strike coming. We should definitely check the U.S. Bank Tower for bombs.
Wait, why?
Because the same guy who bought the Twin Towers owns it.
What?
Shout out Larry Silverstein.
False flag. He's calling it now.
Shut it down. Trumpstein is making Iran great again, and we can't do that when they refuse to attack Americans. Don't forget we got pizza costed by Nazis. Shapirstein, subvert the goy.
Just because Silverstein's a Jew and took out terrorist insurance weeks prior to
There he
9/11
is.
doesn't mean we can't dance. Daisy, subvert them with your voluptuous milkers.
It's not our fault that we're chosen by God.
So true, Daisy. So true. I just saw your latest video, by the way.
Thank you. My Only Freaks is 15% off right now, and every dollar you spend goes to fund the genocide in Gaza.
That's so cool. The corn industry is funded by you guys.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Back to you, Ching Chong.
Dude, she's not going to let you hit, bro. Such a simp. But we're here outside of yet another oil refinery hit here in Iran. Trumpstein's targeted bombings have exposed the local population to undesirable and toxic chemical pollution. But according to him, these are freedom bombs, and the Iranian people love it. Vaccinated normies actually believe that.
The Iranian people, when they don't hear bombs go off, they're upset. They want to hear bombs because they want to be free.
Is he serious?
Dude's literally a Hollywood actor on the world stage.
For real, though. Ching Chong, how's the capital city looking? And this, folks, right here is not Gaza, but Tehran, the capital city of Iran. The people wake up every day hoping that the terrorists, U.S. of Israel, will stop being total assholes.
Wow. Thanks, Ching Chong. That's some eye-opening stuff.
Seriously, I got a question.
Ask away.
Trumpstein, how does it feel to be seduced by a foreign country into fighting their wars?
You know, we're not supposed to be seduced that way, right? But I am. When somebody's nice to me, I love that person. Even if they're bad people, I couldn't care less. I'll fight to the end for them.
I think my new favorite number is 110.
That's based. Stu, explain how little they value our lives.
If your son ships to Iran and is blown up in a C-130 and you are asking for information, well, what happened to my dad? What happened to my son? The response that you will get is, that's classified.
Well, there you go, folks. Noticing is antiseptic.
If antiseptic means not wanting to see innocent people being slaughtered, that's me, baby.
Facts. Dennis, take it away. Thanks, guys. Only losers aren't antiseptic. Anyway, if you're still not following Jake GTV, you're a total loser. Far from based. Most likely, retarded.
Why does everyone hate us?
They just don't know what it's like to get kicked out of 109 countries.
Exactly. We're victims.
BlackRock, because you're not chosen.
Congratulations, you made it to the end. That's what I call based. If you want to learn more about the sentient AI being ushered into a city near you, grab my book, The Digital Prison. Otherwise, if you want to keep us on air, just hit the like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Did you delete his Erica Kirkberg video?
Sir, we labeled it hate speech and deleted his Iran video from Meta.
That's not enough. We need to shut him down tonight.
Well, to answer your question there, I showed it on the screen before, but you obviously weren't looking. But there was your answer at the end of the video. That was Jake GTV, who, collaborates with people in the network like Stu Peters, who's very much connected. Like, Alex Jones, like Joe Rogan, like Tucker Carlson, like Candace Owens, on and on and on and on and on and on. Jimmy Dore, Sean Atwood. Who is exempt in all these examples? Maybe one or two. But yeah, David Icke. But I do tend to agree with a lot of the majority of things from a lot of those people. Even David Icke, who popularized, the reptilian agenda kind of theory, which there may be some truth there. In reality, maybe not the way he's selling it, but trying to find this fucking stream from whatever. I don't want to dig down that rabbit hole. But whoops, my bad. So yeah, there were some links that you guys dropped, but I didn't get to grab them. Let me see if I still can grab them or not. Okay, so I got one from Lex here. I'm not sure what exactly you got for me here, bro. But hopefully it's a short. Oh, this might be the most recent video from... Yep. How did I know? How did I know, man? Crazy. 400 something comments. This channel has blown up in real time. I've watched it as it's happening. So I don't see how 4/22/26 is a 666 date. 2 and 2 reduces to 4, so you have 4 and 4, and then 2026 reduces to 1 because 6 plus 2 plus 2 is 10. Drop the 0 is 1. So yeah, I don't know what exactly. I don't know. But we could check this one out. I'm guessing it's a lot of iPet. Oh, it's iPet Go 2 again. Yeah, I watched too much iPet Go 2. Too many breakdowns. But I do appreciate Hugh's videos a lot of the time. That's why I played them the other, what was that, about a month ago for the full moon stream. I think it was the 3/3 blood moon stream. But I did want to watch that video from Shaking My Head, but we could play this one out because then I could go an hour 42. That would make sense. End it at an hour 42 to get that 420 in there. So much love, y'all.
Nobody's home. You gotta pull yourself. You can't end this world alone.
You're the fire horse, y'all. So we're in the time of the dragon right now. Month 3, April 16th to May 15th. So interesting. I didn't know that.
Somebody ever told the baby how it was gonna be. What'll happen to you, baby? Guess we'll have to wait and see. But I'm only here. Till you come to let your break my heart. Then I thought, but it's getting much too late. Got ourselves so far apart. I don't know how to turn baby. Say my love to me, you know. When you took everything, say you took everything away. And it gets so hard to wait. When you're on, I know can seem to help me now. Oh, not hard, but I must get to see. If I'm to find my own way, talking to myself, and nobody's home. So nobody ever told us, baby, how it was gonna be. So what'll happen to us, baby? Guess we'll have to wait and see. Many more, and what for? Well, I jumped into the river too many times to make it home. I'm out here on my own, feeling all alone. It's time to show. It's time to read between the lines. Don't see the storm is getting closer, and the waves are getting so high. Seems everything we've ever known here. Why must it drift away and die?
I think the craziest thing about watching this video is realizing that, wow, I might actually, God willing, see Guns N' Roses for the first time in my life in a few weeks here with a bunch of other bands, a huge festival. So looking forward to that. God willing, I will be able to get in. I do not have tickets yet, but that's okay. That's okay. God works in mysterious ways. I've learned that from experience, especially with concerts and such. So music festivals and whatnot. But we'll not get into that. We'll continue this video.
I'm never finding a dark places. Guess I'll have to make it through this time. When it's time without you, I knew the storm was getting closer, and all the breath that I was high. Oh, everything we've ever known here, I never wanted it to die.
Out of time, 88 miles per hour. So I remember the video that I wanted to play, but it is slightly long. However, very much on topic, especially with the title of the stream, with the recent, optics and news around the psychedelic drug executive order, quote unquote executive order. But of course, it is another one from Shaking My Head. 2 in 1. How do you like that? We already watched this one with Trump ayahuasca, alien invasion, Project Bluebeam nonsense, and then I don't know if you guys saw this with Obama and Mamdani reading this book and singing "Wheels on the Bus" to these children at a school, elementary school. Very reminiscent of the iPet Go 2 kind of vibes there with Bush on the day of 9/11. But here you go, Trump's MK Ultra 2.0 executive order, psychedelics for everyone. What do you guys think about this all? I mean, really, is this essentially what Brave New World was very accurately portraying? Is this the Soma for the masses? I guess time will tell how this plays out with these legalized, right? Because when the government says we're here to help, trust them, right? Scariest words in the English language, some could say. I think Reagan even, wasn't it Reagan that said that too? I quoted that. That the 12 scariest words in the English language were from the government and we're here to help. 9 words, however many fucking words it is. 9/11. Anyway, interesting optics here. What do you guys think about all this? Where is it heading? What's it leading? Because like I already brought up, I think that the nanomaterial element to this, likely element to this, and the fact that, you know, what can be put into these legalized fucking pharmaceutical derived, essentially, likely synthetic, they're going to be most likely synthesized by pharma in the labs. That's how this is all going to be, man. That's how it's going to play out. The industrialization of, these what are supposed to be plant medicines, very dangerous, potentially. Nothing to play around with, folks.
Today, I'm pleased to announce historic reforms to dramatically accelerate access to new medical research and treatments based on psychedelic drugs. In many cases, these experimental treatments have shown life-changing potential for those suffering from severe mental illness and depression.
Hey! I'm the Lizard King! I can do anything! Come on, raise your hands if you understand!
So here it is, the snake. It's called the snake.
Plastic soldiers in the miniature dirt war. Come on! How many of you people know you're alive?
From great suffering, great pain, came a solution. Communities, where disorder became harmony.
The way things look, the way things are very different.
What do you think would happen if you skipped your morning injection?
Golden Circle proudly presents.
Mr. President, my name is Poppy Adams. I believe the UN has no teeth, so I've selected you as leader of the free world to receive this communication, and I invite you to begin negotiations in the largest scale hostage situation in history. A few weeks ago, an engineered virus was released, contained in all varieties of my product. Cannabis, cocaine, heroin, opium, ecstasy, and crystal meth.
Including our cherished veterans. Our veterans are having a tremendous hard time. The suicide rate, we have it down a little bit, but they're having a hard time. And I got a call from a number of people, including the great Joe Rogan. And he said, we have to do something about this.
I'm not buying what Michael Murphy's selling. I'm even more skeptical now. I don't think he knows enough about the weather to be talking about this. I enjoy talking to Kristen, but she's making some crazy claim. Uh-oh, here we go. HARP. Every conspiracy theorist's ears just got a little bit bigger. For those of you who don't know what HARP is, it's a top secret military installation. The strange weather patterns, the zombie storms. Even though it's clear that something's going on, I'm not buying that chemtrails are causing all these things. Here's what I learned on my journey. What people are calling chemtrails are not the government spraying evil chemicals on you. They look like clouds because they are clouds.
Some of you are already infected.
I mean, you guys, what more do you have to see? Really, what more do you have to see? From the chilliest chill of all shills, arguably. Arguably, Joe Rogan is the chilliest chill of all shills. So
here's what I learned on my journey. What people are calling chemtrails are not the government spraying evil chemicals on you. They look like clouds.
they would never do that. They look like clouds because they are. They would never do that. They would never spray chemicals and bio-warfare and carry out black ops, bio-warfare programs on their people. They would never do that. The Epstein class, U.S. government would never do that.
Some of you are already infected, and this is what you can expect in the coming days. After a brief incubation period, victims present with stage 1 symptoms. A blue rash. Next, second stage symptoms appear. Mania, as the virus enters the brain.
I can't prepare you for what's going to happen.
There's something missing from our lives. Something that has been stolen. When people have the freedom to choose, they choose wrong.
The HARP thing is a bit more confusing. It's terrifying when you're too dumb to know who's stupid. And unfortunately, that's where I find myself. And the only people who really know are the people that are working at HARP. And none of them are talking. And I wouldn't talk either. And none of them are talking. And I wouldn't talk either.
And I looked into it. I called Bobby, I called Oz, I called Marty and Jay. And it was uniform support. And I said, so why would we wait 3 or 4 years to get it done? Or 10 years, frankly. Let's get it done immediately. And
are the world's governments manipulating the weather and creating huge zombie freak storm? I'll tell the government right now. Tell you right now, if you're listening, NSACA, I'm available. Okay, if you show me all the real wreckage, I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up stories. I'll lie to my mother. I don't care. You show me a UFO, I'll lie to my mother.
Very distressing to the victim and those around them. Stage 3, paralysis. Muscles enter a state of catastrophic seizure, and once the muscles of the thorax become affected, breathing becomes impossible, leading to a very nasty death within 12 hours.
that's what happened. This has probably never been anything happened so quickly. Everybody is so strongly in favor of this. It's for a lot of people, but it's for our military in particular. The suicide epidemic among veterans is a national tragedy. Since 9/11, we've lost over 21 times more veteran lives to suicide than on the battlefield. So we lose. Think of that.
I did want to bring up, I do find it interesting that, they're playing Kingsmen, right? And then you think of Kingsmen, you think of the king, obviously King Charles, so they call him. Well, did you know that King Charles celebrated his birthday last birthday on Trump's birthday, which is also allegedly Obama Appreciation Day. You can't make this fucking shit up, dude. They do, though. You can't make it up, but they do. So, fascinating fucking simulation.
I have good news to the millions already affected. It doesn't have to be this way. I have an antidote.
What have you done to me?
100% effective and ready to ship out worldwide at a moment's notice. You have my word. I will do this.
Look, without Derek Zoolander, male modeling wouldn't be what it is today.
Hello, Derek. Hello. Welcome to your relaxation time. Let this wonderful 80s classic soothe you. Just a nice, warm, happy time. Happy, happy, happy. Nothing to worry about at all. Just relax.
I saw in you what someone once saw in...
My name's Poppy Adams, CEO of the Golden Circle. We engage in an aggressive business strategy, invest in the latest technology, and take strict disciplinary actions.
Spectacular, eh?
Yeah, it is.
If I'm not the receiver, what does that make you?
Well, then that must make me the giver.
Only be the musical stylings of Victor Oladipo, who is the reigning two-time champion of the All-Star Weekend player talent show.
You are talented. I'll give you a little credit on that. A lot of credit. You're very talented. I mean, you're not a karaoke guy like me, but you can actually. You know they call me Old Brown Eyes, right?
As a matter of fact.
So, if you're watching this and you're realizing, wow, I've never seen this clip before, I don't know where you've been, but this is a great example of the ridiculous level to which they really just don't give a fuck of actually letting people like Shaq out there in such an obvious state of, like, notice how they didn't even cut it. They kept going. They didn't go to commercial. A lot of times you'll see them go to commercial, like when Al Roker was on the news, or when, Woogie and Out, or, there's so many examples. If you've seen the compilation videos of all the all the times people were having the MK Ultra glitch outs, he might play this in this video. Hopefully he does. He likely does. It's a good video. I think I watched most of it.
Both have experience singing New York, New York. His was at the Slam Dunk Contest. Yours was in Vegas. Yes. We had the show out there. Here's just a little sampling.
See, I love to do karaoke. That's good, isn't it?
You see those two mics back there?
You made up your own words.
You see those?
Wait, that was the words. In old New York?
Yeah. The long-awaited duet. Victor Oladipo, Charles Barkley. New York, New York.
Hey, yo, let me lead. No, let me lead. I got you.
There's Mr. Roker. So there you go. There you have it. And when I met this guy here in the middle, in Miami, in South Beach, going up the stairs, the Lowe's Hotel, when I was working there for the South Beach Food and Wine Festival, I will admit he had his hat on forward. He had it pulled down kind of over his face a little bit to kind of hide his face. And I just said to him, I said, "Al, hey, man." And then he kind of looked out, or something like that. Is it you? Or something to that effect, right? I was, I don't know, 20, maybe 1 at the time, 23 at the time, 24 maybe, or 5 at the latest. It was a while back. But yeah, that was also the time that I didn't meet Rick Ross, but I was standing right next to Rick Ross and his gang at the not Monad, what was it called? The Mokai Lounge there in South Beach. And, if my phone hadn't been like I don't know if my phone was dead or if I just didn't balls up to the, try to get a picture with him. But I'm also just, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit about getting a picture with. Then again, I did get pictures with a lot of dudes that down at Guy Fieri, Emeril Lagasse, the fucking Food Network, supposed gods of Food Network, so-called gods of Food Network. But it's funny because I was watching this Anthony Bourdain clip recently, and Anthony Bourdain was calling out Guy Fieri for. I should pull that clip up. It was actually extremely entertaining. I had never seen it before. But we'll continue these MK Ultra optics first. And I wonder if Al Roker, if I could have said a word when I met him there on that staircase, if I could have said a word that would have been like a trigger word to get him to just kind of stay still and lock him there, and then I could have just left him on the staircase there frozen. That'd be interesting to do, like a real life simulation in real time to a celebrity. I gotta find out what the popular trigger words are. Apparently for this one with Al Roker, it was Holy Ghost, because when one of these other two, you know what? And is that lady in that clip Guthrie? Is that Guthrie? Is that Guthrie right there? Savannah Guthrie's the whole Guthrie lady, the one with the Epstein case and all that. And there's Matt fucking whatever his name, Matt Lauer. Is that her? Is that Guthrie? I think it is. Go fucking figure. Got your Cardi B flip out. You got your Shady. You got your news reporters.
Famous people have it rough. Even when they're feeling down and out, they're forced to smile for the camera, be cordial to their fans, and pretend like their lives are perfectly fine. Sometimes the stress of the entertainment industry becomes too much to handle, and some celebrities crack under all the pressure. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe, and please give this video a big thumbs up, because today, we're showing you 10 celebs who had epic mental breakdowns. Jennifer Lopez. While filming the movie Enough in 2002, Jennifer Lopez became overwhelmed with trying to juggle her singing and acting career. The star said she was suffering from a lack of sleep, and she eventually had a nervous breakdown. She literally froze on the set of the movie and was unable to move or even think properly. She says instead of visiting a shrink, she went home and slept for the entire weekend. Although she's feeling much better these days, she'll never forget her epic meltdown. Demi Lovato. Mental health issues and an eating disorder were at the root of Demi Lovato's breakdown. Back in 2010, she assaulted one of her backup dancers on an airplane. The incident caused Demi to do some self-reflection, and she entered an inpatient facility to deal with bipolar disorder, bulimia, her physical and emotional issues, and to seek help for her addiction to cutting. She later confessed she couldn't go more than an hour without doing cocaine, but her 3-month rehab stint sent her down the right path to a successful recovery. Mariah Carey. In 2001, Mariah Carey's breakup with Latin singer Luis Miguel was cited as the reason for her mental health breakdown. The singer showed up to MTV's TRL and began doing a striptease for host Carson Daly. She then told
Yeah, I gotta throw this in a double time because that's how much I don't give a shit about these people.
him everyone needs a little therapy, and today's
The Epstein classers are, not that entertaining anymore.
that moment for me. Not long after, she was checked into a mental health facility after she cut herself while smashing dishes all over her New York City hotel room. Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez's mental health worsened when she was diagnosed with lupus. In 2014, she completely stopped working on music, and sources reported that she secretly entered a rehab facility to address her issues. Throughout the years, and as her health began to deteriorate, she fell into a deep depression. She would slip into a
These people don't even look human anymore. I don't know if you guys have seen like all these, old time. Well, they're not old time, but I mean now they're getting older. But I guess they're mostly my age. But your Miley Cyruses and Selena Gomez's and all these people they don't look human anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's something going on, and it's just and there's been lots of viral videos about it, but there's literally some transhuman ass bullshit going on, and it's in plain sight, and they're trying to make it look like it's cute. You know what I mean? They're trying to make it look desirable to I don't know what it is, but it's clearly some fucking, you know what I mean, biotech transhuman bullshit, because doesn't look like just lip fillers, or to me I'm thinking brain chips or some shit, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. It's not just stem cell rejuvenation though. There's something, it could be adrenochrome transfusions. Who knows? Who the fuck knows what's really going on?
really dark place. And
But Something's weird.
Time for her to tackle her issues
As
head-on.
usual.
Entered rehab again in
Holly weird.
August 2016 to fight depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. Lindsay Lohan. Who could forget Lindsay Lohan's epic meltdown? It seemed like every day the actress was getting caught up in more and more trouble. Drugs and alcohol played a huge role in the star's numerous arrests and rehab stints, and she was locked up on a cocaine charge, involved in a hit-and-run accident, and accused of stealing a pricey necklace from a jewelry store. Tom Cruise. In 2005, Tom Cruise appeared on an episode of Oprah and literally jumped on the talk show host's couch to declare his love for actress Katie Holmes. And then he made an appearance on the Today Show and blasted actress Brooke Shields for using antidepressants to deal with her postpartum depression. When Tom tried to school Today host Matt Lauer on the history of psychiatry, we knew he had officially lost it. Britney Spears. In 2007, the thought of losing custody of her 2 children frightened Britney Spears so much her mental health began to deteriorate right before our eyes. She showed up to a hair salon, grabbed the clippers, and proceeded to shave her entire head. Then she took an umbrella and smashed it against a paparazzo's car window. Her family finally stepped in and took control of her life, and it seems to have helped. If it weren't for her multiple psychiatric visits, who knows where Britney would be today? Kanye West. Kanye West has always exhibited some pretty strange behavior, from ranting and raving on Twitter to interrupting Taylor Swift's MTV VMA's acceptance speech. But we didn't know the severity of his mental health issues until he was involuntarily admitted to a psychiatric hospital in November 2016. The rapper was reportedly paranoid and depressed following Kim Kardashian's Paris robbery, and he was also struggling to cope through the anniversary of his mom's death. Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes' progression from the fun, sweet, and lovable Nickelodeon star into an erratic, bong-throwing actress left us all sorts of confused. When she attended court to fight her possession of marijuana and tampering with evidence charges, she showed up wearing various matted and messy wigs. It was at that moment we realized she was dealing with some major issues. Amanda was placed under numerous psychiatric holds, and her parents now have control over her finances and her medical needs. Misha Barton. After leaving the OC after just 3 seasons, Misha Barton's life went on a downward spiral. In 2009, she was involuntarily admitted into a psychiatric hospital. Her rep initially blamed her meltdown on a bad reaction to having her wisdom teeth extracted, but Misha later admitted she had a full-on breakdown. Her troubles have followed her throughout the years, and in January 2017, she was found on top of a fence in West Hollywood, screaming that her mom was a witch and rambling about the world shattering. She was admitted to the hospital again, and the actress claimed her erratic behavior was due to someone slipping a drug.
It's like something from a Hollywood horror movie. A hospital where patients are given massive doses of drugs like LSD, intensive shock therapy, put to sleep for months at a time.
I was reduced to a baby and wearing diapers and being fed. And, I can't imagine it. I don't remember that, thank goodness, because it would haunt me in my dreams.
But at Montreal's Allen Memorial Institute, the nightmare was all too real. And incredibly, what happened there was secretly supported by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency and the Canadian government.
Just doesn't make sense that you can take a mother away from her children and ruin her life and that other people won't be affected too.
I'm Bob McEwen. On this Fifth Estate, we investigate what the government of Canada kept hidden for decades and what they're still trying to hide. It was 1964, and 5-year-old Diane McIntosh couldn't wait when her father said they were going for a drive to visit her mother, who was in the hospital.
My dad used to let me sit on his knee and steer the car, and so that was play.
On each visit, their car would turn onto the long drive leading through the hospital grounds to the Allen Memorial Institute at McGill University in Montreal, a psychiatric facility with the best reputation in the country. More than half a century later, Diane still remembers what she saw then, as if it were yesterday. Because when they got to the hospital door, her enthusiasm turned to horror.
When we got there, the place was just like a scene from One Flew Out of the Cuckoo's Nest. There were people banging their heads on the walls and droning, and my mother was sitting there completely drugged up. And even as a child, I knew that she wasn't right.
What they didn't know at the time was that her mother, Ellen McIntosh, and hundreds of others like her were unwitting guinea pigs in brutal psychiatric experiments that took place at the Allen Institute under the code name MK Ultra. Massive drug regimens, enforced prolonged sleep, intensive electroshock, largely funded by the Canadian government and the American CIA. No consent was ever asked from the patients, and no explanation of the experiments was ever given to them. The MK Ultra brainwashing project got its start in the early days of the Cold War, when some Canadian and American soldiers returning from the conflict in Korea expressed sympathy for their communist enemies. At a time of paranoia about the so-called Red Menace, the Americans believed the Soviets and Chinese might well have devised an effective brainwashing method, and the CIA was determined to crack it, as ex-CIA officer John Gittinger told the Fifth Estate in 1980.
So we were charged with rather an elaborate attempt to try to find out chemical, psychological, any kind of means that people could use to influence the behavior of the people.
But the CIA knew it could be politically difficult to fund brainwashing directly, so it set up a front company to do it, euphemistically called the Society for the Investigation of Human Ecology.
These are the days, and ours are the occasion.
And they found a prominent scholar doing related research in Montreal, the renowned psychiatrist Dr. Ewan Cameron, co-founder of the World Psychiatric Association. Those who worked with Cameron called him domineering, and more.
He was an authoritarian, ruthless, power-hungry, nervous, tense, angry man. Not very nice.
And it is his mind, no less, which may destroy mankind.
Over the years, in addition to CIA funding, Dr. Cameron received Canadian government research grants worth well over $4 million today for experiments on what was called psychic driving and depatterning, attempts to erase negative memories from the human mind and replace them with new, positive ones. So it was that in 1962, a 23-year-old mother of 2, Ellen McIntosh, was referred to Ewan Cameron for what she thought would be a time out from the pressures of motherhood and marriage.
They promised me that I would get rested. I was told that I would be looked after in the hospital.
Depressed after the birth of her second child, her GP recommended Dr. Cameron, No one told her she would be part of a radical science project with a full menu of experimental treatments, shock, drugs like LSD, months of induced sleep with recordings bombarding her subconscious 24/7. After all that, Ellen McIntosh says she effectively became an infant again.
That was hell. It really was. It's something that you can't describe. And when I start talking about it, I start shaking. My body shakes. It's like my body's saying, don't go there.
Today, Ellen has only a few scattered memories of her years at the Allen.
Electroshock and a picture of Dr. Cameron, but I do remember him. I remember his voice very clearly.
What do you remember about him?
He sat me in front of a group of medical students or doctors that were doing their residency, and he said, "This woman is hopelessly incurable," and that was it. And he was so cold.
But through all of that, her young daughter Diane, raised by grandparents, lived for those special times when her mother got the chance to spend a few hours with her girls.
I remember when she was able to come out for a visit, and she would be able to come over and tuck me in at my granny's place, and I would just lie there immobile after she left. And when Granny would come in to say goodnight, I'd say, "Don't touch the covers, don't touch the covers, don't change it," because Mom left it this way. And I tried to sleep all night without moving the covers.
In all, Ellen McIntosh spent 2 years at the Allen Institute. Most of her memories erased like data on a hard drive.
That's you. Yeah. Look how dark my hair is. I don't think that's...
Today, at home in British Columbia, much of the McIntosh family album is a mystery to Ellen. Now it's Diane who must guide her mom through the images of the past she no longer remembers.
There's Carolyn. So they're not in order.
That's me.
That's you, of course.
It is clear that in different ways, both McIntoshes are victims of that secret brainwashing project in Montreal, and they are far from alone. Hundreds of victims passed through these doors in the 1950s and 60s, all with their own horror stories.
I feel like I've been completely used. I feel like my mind has been completely invaded.
I had to be toilet. I was a vegetable. I had no identity. I had no memory. I'd never existed in the world before. Just like a babysit myself.
I suffered like hell. My mother had to stay with me all the time. She couldn't leave me 1 hour.
5 decades later, the government of Canada has been more deeply involved in all this than it wants to admit, with new secret settlements, shutting down lawsuits, and gag orders. And as you will see after the break, it is not something they want you to know about.
The government doesn't seem to do anything. They don't recognize you. It's wrong. It's shameful.
From 1950 until the mid-60s, Montreal's respected psychiatric facility, the Allen Memorial Institute, was the site of secret brainwashing experiments, funded by the CIA under the codename MKUltra, with money from the Canadian government as well. The program would quietly be shut down in 1965. But the truth about what happened there would be protected for another decade and a half longer. Then, in 1980, we were among the first to tell Canadians about it.
The Fifth Estate.
I'm Adrian Clarkson. Tonight we report on a secret CIA research project carried out in Montreal in which mental patients felt they were used as the CIA's guinea pigs.
They kept you asleep for 23 days. And while I was asleep, they were shocking the heck out of me with electroshocks.
And the Fifth Estate stayed on the story for years to come. From then to now, many of the key questions have remained the same.
The Fifth Estate.
So why was Ottawa so ambiguous when it came to helping some Canadian citizens get compensation from Washington for what they endured in a program that was inspired mostly by American Cold War fears? Well, the answer was simple. The government of Canada was even more deeply involved in the Allen Memorial experiments than the Americans.
Hold him!
After word of the experiments at the Allen Memorial Institute came out, the CDC broadcast a drama entitled The Sleep Room about Dr. Ewan Cameron's mind control treatments. In the absence of visual evidence inside the hospital, it is as close as we can come to how it looked and sounded.
Ashley?
Writing doesn't work. You admit that now? You destroyed these people for nothing! You can't just walk away from this, Cameron! It'll come back! It'll ruin you!
Many of them were just sitting there like zombies, and I have a headache. I don't remember anything.
Gina Blasbald was 15 and in an orphanage when she was sent to the Allen. She got massive drug doses and was kept asleep for months. Fortunately, she never received electroshock therapy, which may explain why she remembers the real Dr. Cameron and his patients. How did those patients regard, or apparently regard, Dr. Cameron?
Those patients were too far gone. The ones that were not too far gone were terrified of him. We were all terrified to see him around. We didn't want to be near him. I don't think that any patient ever wanted to be close to Dr. Cameron.
When news of Cameron's experiments was revealed, 9 of the Canadian victims filed a lawsuit against the Central Intelligence Agency, alleging they'd been unwittingly used in research that was medically improper, even illegal. Plaintiff Velma Orlico of Winnipeg didn't think they stood a chance.
I've often, when I've been alone at home, thought, how can you fight the CIA? Who in heck do you think you are? How can you fight the CIA?
But eventually, in the late 80s, David got a concession from Goliath. The CIA settled with the Canadian patients for about $90,000 apiece, a moral victory, at least. And a few years after that, in the 90s, the government of Canada announced its own compensation plan, but only for the most seriously injured victims, those who survived the experiments in a childlike state. The government also insisted it had no legal or moral obligation to do it. To many, that system seemed designed not to distribute compensation, but to discourage it. In the end, only 80 of the patients subjected to the brutal psychiatric experiments were approved for federal compensation. Another 250 were denied. And who knows how many more never even knew the compensation program existed. So when the application deadline came and went, it was too late to apply. The government's secret brainwashing program simply faded into the past. Or did it?
Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
No.
You only see what your eyes want to see. How can I be what you want it to be? You're frozen.
Marshall Mathers. Some of you may know him as Eminem, but he's going to join the Saturday Night Crew with our music intro starting next Saturday night. But folks, I want to take you to the world premiere of one of his new videos called Berserk. Take a listen. So was that the great Rick Rubin who was helping produce that with you, Marshall, when you did that? Yeah, sorry. Live TV. Live TV freaks me out a little bit. Yes, I'm sorry. What was the question? Yeah, I'm really uncomfortable right now.
It's like a boy in the bubble who never could adapt. I'm trapped. If I can go back, I never would have rapped. I sold my soul to the devil, I'll never get it back. I just want to leave this game with level-headed facts. Imagine going from being and knowing to seeing everything glowing. All you did was just grow up and seeing. It's fucking crazy.
Yes, I'm sorry. What was the question?
You only see what your eyes want to see. How can I be what you want it to be? You're frozen when your heart's not open.
It's enough. This behavior, we're miles beyond a glitch here.
With her coach, Patrick Ortoglu, and still looking unwell. She looked dizzy and disorientated out on court number 1, had a doctor on court for 13 minutes before she played the match, only completed 3 games.
When I was making love to my old boyfriend, I used to think about women sometimes.
Oh, good Lord. I'm sure he was delighted when you told me because...
We can see that Bill Clinton was nothing more than a puppet to the puppet masters, which placed him in the White House. Bill Clinton's demeanor seems to be similar to a person who is under a hypnotic trance.
In every way, and I was very proud of her.
Talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren. Talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren.
Healthcare. We need to make what we've got work really well and improve it and get the costs out of an upward spiral.
Are you connecting? Picasso is dead. Steve Jobs is dead. Walt Disney is dead. Name somebody living that you can name in the same breath as them.
All right, and Connor, can you respond? Say something nice about Jose, please? No? Okay, not happening.
Yeah, it's a difficult.
Well, I don't know how long we were off there because nobody let me know. So I'm trying to go back and see how long we've been off and at what point we got cut. Because that's just silly, folks. It really is just silly. And it's old. It's really old at this point. But it happens. So for some reason it was right here. So we were off there for like what, 3 minutes at least? I wish someone would have told me. Okay, so apologies for that. That's kind of gay. But we're gonna try to continue and then wrap it up. So where was it? It was like around here.
Which placed him in the White House. Bill Clinton's demeanor seems to be similar to a person who is under a hypnotic trance.
In every way, and I was very proud of her.
Make what we've got work really well and improve it and get the costs out of an upward spiral.
Are you connecting? Picasso is dead. Steve Jobs is dead. Walt Disney is dead. Name somebody living that you can name in the same breath as them.
All right, and Connor, can you respond? Say something nice about Jose, please? No? Okay, not happening.
Yeah, it's a difficult title. It's a good, I
But I suppose
suppose it's because you had kind of a good day, and if you would have died, well, so be it. Is that it?
That's right. That's an explanation. Have a sandwich and let's go shopping.
That would have been your choice.
Well, it's about, it makes about as much sense. Or maybe there is a good day to die.
The moving piece of film and music that is the video for 1-800-273-8255 brought me to tears. The truth is piercing, and the truth is what matters. And the truth is that none of us are alone. It takes great courage to show the vulnerable side of being human. And as long as you never give up on yourself, light will break through the darkness.
There are many ways I can inflict pain on my opponent and put him away.
How will Aldo try to attack Conor? Okay, well, Aldo's a very fast guy, and these guys have been wanting to get at each other. The big question is, can Aldo even get to Conor McGregor? Somebody that's got the footwork of Conor, the awkward styles constantly is changing between an orthodox and a southpaw stance. So if Aldo can come out here and try to...
There are many ways I can inflict...
That's exactly how
you have to have a certain amount of distance between bodies in your eye.
Yes, like they say in Catholic schools, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Anyway, there is a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley passed away, the king of rock and roll. As Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king to...
I understand the more you stare, the more tired you become and the more you will relax. I want you to just block out any thought processes and sounds and just begin to stare at the light. Of course, if you close your eyes, I'm going to simply invite you to take breaths in with me. Understand? Every breath you take and every word I say, and out and just relax.
We're going to let Richard continue his work through the commercial break.
Moments, but not yet.
What do you think about the doctor's findings and testimony? Log on to cnnsurgeon.com/chat to your opinion. I'm chatting too. We'll try to answer your questions.
I'm sorry. I was in a trance.
I'm sorry, is there someone talking to you?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry about that. So I just was wondering
It
how
just
everyone's
came
doing. Hello, Courtney, have we lost you?
Mm-hmm. All right. It looks like Courtney doesn't really want to go there
I
with
think
that
she's
question.
breaking, so I just was wondering how everyone's doing. Hello, Courtney, have we lost you?
Now, who's the devil? Whoa.
Whoa.
All right.
That's okay.
Can you explain what this instant personalization thing was that you did and why you did it and what's the value of it to your users?
Maybe I should take off the hoodie.
Take off the
Go ahead.
Here. Let me get someone. You all right?
Yeah.
This is a great moment in internet history.
What?
All right.
What are we going to do with the mic?
Put it on your...
All right.
Put it on the collar of your t-shirt.
You need some help?
No.
All right. Okay. Mark?
Sorry about the...
Sorry about being loud, Mark.
No, it's...
We're not even yelling at you.
Yeah.
Yet.
We're not going to yell at you.
No, of course not. That is a warm hoodie.
Yeah, no, it's a thick hoodie. It's a company hoodie. We print our mission on the inside.
What? Oh,
really?
my God, the inside of the hoodie, everybody. Take a look. What is it? Making the
world more open and connected.
Oh my God, it's like a secret vault. Look at that, making the world open and connected, stream, graph, platform, and this weird symbol in the middle that is probably for the Illuminati.
From the Rockefeller Commission report that 22 years ago, an Army employee was given an after-dinner cordial at a meeting hosted by the CIA in Maryland. That Army employee did not know and was not told for 20 minutes that the after-dinner drink had acid, LSD, in it. And 1 week later, that employee was dead. Early in the morning, very early, about 1:30 in the morning, in a hotel room in New York City, he got up, and before his CIA escort could prevent him, he ran right through a closed hotel window, which had the shades drawn over it. The window gave way, and the employee fell 10 stories to his death. Well, that account in the Rockefeller Commission report horrified most readers, but we can only imagine what it did to a Maryland woman, Alice Olson, and her 2 sons, Eric Olson and Niels Olson. They had been told 22 years ago that Frank Olson, their husband and their father, a civilian Army employee working in Maryland at Fort Detrick Biological Warfare Research Center, after leading a perfectly normal and happy life, had inexplicably killed himself in New York. They were not told anything about the LSD experiment that had set him off. And until they read the Rockefeller Commission report 22 years afterwards, last month, they had spent 2 decades racked with the guilt and the shame that a suicide in the family causes. We spoke to the Olsons this week. Ted Clark, one of our reporters here at the Washington Bureau, reached them at their home by phone, and here is his conversation.
I'm talking to Niels Olson in Frederick, Maryland. Niels, could you tell us briefly the story of your father's death and the circumstances surrounding it?
Well, as far as we know at this point, my father, Frank R. Olson, who was a civilian biochemist working for the United States Army, died shortly after midnight on November 28, 1953. As we understand it, he had been given LSD without his knowledge at a meeting that was being held with several CIA agents who were liaison people between the CIA and the Army Research Installation that my father worked for. They were at a meeting discussing biological research, and during the week-long meeting in November of '53, they slipped him and four other top-level scientists LSD after dinner one evening, and then 20 minutes later, they were told that they had been given the LSD, and they were going to be observed to see their reaction to the drug. He developed serious side effects to the drug, and returned from the week-long meeting to our house. My mother noticed very dramatic changes in his personality, as being very despondent and depressed and very quiet and so on. Then he went to work at Fort Detrick here in Frederick on the following Monday, and was considering resigning from his job there. Was talked back into staying on, and then Tuesday it was decided that he would go to see a psychiatrist up in New York City. The psychiatrist, Harold Abramson is his name, was a psychiatrist who had a security clearance, and therefore we were told selected to be the therapist to talk to my father, because my father had a top-level security clearance. My father talked with Abramson for several days during the week after he had been administered the LSD. Then the Friday night, November 27th, 1953, he telephoned my mother to indicate that he was doing okay, that he'd be coming home on Saturday, November 28th. That was the last time that my mother talked to him. Then we received a phone call the next morning from a colleague who had received a phone call from a CIA agent who was up in New York with my father accompanying him, and that was when we were notified that my father had plunged to his death out of a 10th floor window of the Hotel Statler in New York.
Was any explanation given to you about why this had happened? That he had been a participant in this experiment with LSD?
No, we had no knowledge of that. We hadn't received any communication whatsoever from the Central Intelligence Agency, and the only thing we were told was that he jumped or fell from the 10th floor window, and it was our understanding that he had just suffered a nervous breakdown, and was very depressed. And my mother believed that during the middle of the night he must have had a severe nightmare, a bad dream, something where he was just compelled to go a full run across the hotel room, and leap through a window, a closed window, and the shades were drawn on the window. So that was all that we knew.
But he had, prior to this time, had led a happy life and had shown any signs of depression?
No, he had not shown any signs. My mother says that they had a very good marriage. My father was a very loving person and a very giving sort of person who loved his three children very much and spent quite a bit of time with us, devoted a lot of energy towards his wife and children. And that was the thing that threw all of his friends, his wife, and the three children, was that we couldn't understand how he had, after being such a good, warm, stable sort of person, the idea that he could suddenly develop a nervous breakdown was something we just couldn't comprehend.
When was it that you finally found out that he had been an unwitting participant in this LSD
experiment? That was on June 11th, 1975. We received a phone call from a friend who had seen the story in the Washington Post, a release of some information from the Stockdog Commission report, indicating that from the information that they had cited in the report, that it could be no other person than our father.
And then you decided to take action against the CIA.
That's correct.
What are you going to be doing?
Number one, be able to get full disclosure of the information concerning our father's death. We feel that the information has not really been disclosed yet, and we feel that it's only through a suit will the CIA relinquish the information that they have, and all those people who have information come forward and speak frankly. In addition, we do feel that the suit will bring about some punitive damages to the CIA. We do feel that the CIA should be held accountable for their actions. I want to say my brother's about to get on the phone here.
Hi, I'm Neil's brother. Hi, Eric. All right, my name's Ted Clark.
You're from Pacifica?
Pacifica Radio, right.
But you have BAI in California, right?
Right, BAI in New York and 2 stations in California, KPFA and KPFK.
We're on tape here, right?
Yeah. And we also have a station in Texas, KPFT.
Yeah, I know you're really good.
I was going to ask if you know of anybody else, or if any of your father's colleagues who participated in the same experiment. Have you talked to any of them, or do you know who they are?
We know who one of them is, and it's the material which we put into our statement. Some of it comes from that colleague. He has asked us not to disclose it, but then I'm sure that he will come out very shortly, but it hasn't so far, and we promise not to. So we know who he is. There were 3 others, according to him. One of them is dead. We know his name, and 2 others are living, and he refused to tell us the names of those 2.
Well, I think I have pretty much the whole story. If you have any comments that you'd like to add.
There's one comment that I have. Sure. I don't know whether Neil said this earlier to you, but today, to some degree during the press conference, especially after, we were aware of what we'd really gone through with a real funeral ceremony for our father. And it was a funeral in the sense that we were honoring him and dignifying his death in a way that he couldn't be eulogized at the time he died, because no one knew the true story. And there was a sort of mysterious shroud around the way he had died, and it didn't fit with the kind of man that his friends and family knew him to be. And there was a kind of a feeling that what happened today was really a funeral ceremony. We also felt very powerful about being able to be involved in that and to make it an event that had meaning for the whole country.
I think it will. Okay, Eric and Nels, thank you very much for taking the time. I know you must be really tired.
Yeah, we're sort of tired. Pacifica Radio is worth it.
I appreciate your saying that.
For Pacifica in Washington, this is Robert Krulwich, and with Ted Clark, Paz Cohen, Kenny Ferguson, and Paul Kaplan, who contributed to this program, wishing you a good evening.
I'm sorry. I was in a trance.
Yeah, what control it?
Had a rough year. You've had a year that would test a lot of people. Illness in the family. A breakup. This spasm of publicity about what happened from Mexico to London.
It was pretty rough, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ah, weird. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew, strawberry. Yeah, it was weird.
In covertly recorded off-air transmissions from the Bush-Clinton presidential election campaign in the 1990s, we can see that Bill Clinton was nothing more than a puppet to the puppet masters, which placed him in the White House. Bill Clinton's demeanor seems to be similar to a person who is under a hypnotic trance.
You probably heard about the voice of God inside your head. Is it real? Absolutely. You can hear the handlers or mind prison guards inside your skull as clearly as a cell phone call. This is the synthetic telepathy that the CIA has been working on for decades.
Is this the stuff, voices in the head and things like that? Yes. We've run into a few people that claim they got voices in their heads. They sleep inside tinfoil boxes. They do a lot of crazy things, it seems. But when they talk to us, they seem totally normal. They seem totally sane. Are these people crazy, or is the government doing this to them?
The government's doing this to them.
Voices are very easy. And it isn't people imagining voices. They physically hear them. They physically hear. As I'm talking to you, my voice isn't inside your brain. My voice goes no further than an inch into your ear. No further at all. It's the electrical signal that makes you interpret how I sound. And once you've got this electrical signal, which can be a chip or lots of things, you can physically make people hear voices, certain voices. And it can be any conversation, and it can be anybody you want to hear. It can be a soft, angelic voice. It can be a god. It could be something that scares you like a devil. It could be anything.
And then I go down a road and talk to somebody else, and they would continue the conversation because it was that same energy speaking through these people that it had hacked into. So it's an intelligent life that literally can hack into people, and it can use them as their puppets. What it does essentially, it puts you or your soul energy in a sort of box inside you where it feeds off of it, and it stays in your body and expresses. So we have so many murderers, child molesters, and things like that out there.
18 fighter jets are spending about as much as 20 and ready to assist the 100 deployed over the amount needed. Now, it did depend on how the NOLAN remerges RN, while the university or the UN mission has whole received support from all parties in the hues of the garbins of today. Excuse me. I'll hand it back to you.
Barack Obama retaking the oath of office. Chief Justice Roberts, with reporters present, administering the oath. Getting the words right, unlike me this time. Launched a high-profile bid to be named Secretary of State. Named Secretary of State Clinton's old Senate seat. Candidate will continue to work her source.
Because I'm a truth machine.
Go ahead. Yes.
I is not an answer. Don't give me baloney.
I have to little bit.
Just pay attention. Listen to me. You're a big baby. I'm going to go back to you, sir. I want you to tell me about this cousin, Stephanie.
What?
Make a beeline for the brain as soon as they are inhaled. Too big to pass back through the blood-brain barrier, they become trapped there. Nature.com, January 5th, 2004. Once nanoparticulates have sufficient control over a host body, they can then be remotely controlled to work as a GPS tracking device to inflict physical pain and disease, to influence emotional states, to cause memory lapses, to read brain patterns, and even to remotely influence thoughts. Scientists working at the University of Southern California have created an artificial memory system that allows thoughts, memories, and learned behavior to be transferred from one brain to another. Using nanoparticles and a magnetic field, University of Buffalo scientists have been able to make worms move in any direction they dictated simply by heating clusters of nanoparticles inside them. These fibers contain nanocomponents which construct and install nanoimplants, which the aggregate of constitutes what is commonly known as a biological application programming interface, allowing for complete monitoring and control of all body and mind function in a given host, you and everyone on the entire planet, or plant. Here is a payload. The zoom is, I think, 1/200. Another. These are the deliveries through our blood membranes. These are in all of us, all our children. Everyone.
And it works in reverse. As creepy as this may sound, it works in reverse as well. Control panel stalkers are able to see any images originating in the target individual's mind, both actual images and fictional images. And by actual images, I mean, like, literally, they can see what I see out of my own two eyes. They can see what I'm looking at out of my own two eyes through this image induction technology. But they can also see fictional images. So any thoughts of images that are in my mind. So if I'm thinking about something in my memory, something that happened several years ago, and I have an image of that in my mind, then they can actually see that too. Or if I'm imagining something, there's an image that I'm imagining in my mind, they can actually see that too. And I know that sounds very science fiction, very crazy, but again, look at Dr. Robert Duncan's book, you'll see that it's not.
This may be the most amazing picture you'll ever see in your life. This is a phase 2 subject with a nano camera in the left eye, only viewable with the proper wavelength of black light. Everyone on the planet has a basic set of nano implants that allows them to be tracked and mind controlled on demand. People who contract what I call phase 2 will have additional implants that allows them to be body controlled as well as a whole host of other functions. Your body is turned into a robot against your knowledge and against your will. The aggregate of these nano implants constitutes what is commonly known as biological application programming interface. This camera is too small and can't be seen, but it can be felt. Some more thoughts and information on the ocular nano implants are available. This technology has been available for the powers that be, mostly the men in black, to use their technological control to control all. Along with their secret societies, they get others to do the bidding of them as they hide behind the scenes in the darkness. That's why they use the owl that can see in the dark. But as you can see throughout history, they've all been a part of these secret societies and secret clubs that are now using touchless torture, mind control techniques on everyone. Look at this. George Washington, first thing it says in his tombstone, he was a Freemason. Admiral Byrd, who allegedly discovered South Pole that was in the pocket of Rockefeller. And look at Bush with all his Freemason buddies all around. They do not get into power unless they are owned and controlled sock puppets. And here's a list I made up, which I'll put in the show notes as well, showing all the secret society memberships from Jimmy Carter to George Bush to Bill Clinton to Winston Churchill to all of these, Nelson Mandela. They're all part of secret societies. The general rule is if they're a celebrity, if you see them in power, if you see them being the CEO of a corporation like USA, the guy's name is Trump, they are owned. They're sock puppets. They're actors. The Reagan was an actor. They're just doing the bidding of the people behind the scenes, and it's not the Jews. The Jews are the ones that get to keep all the money. They're called the Korthoff Judens. That's why the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers get to keep all the money, but it's the men in black behind them, the Jesuits, the Knights of Malta, the ones that run all the secret societies, the 13 satanic bloodlines from Italy, the Breck Spears, and the rest of those that are running the show and have been running it for over 500 years, if not 5,000 years. But we're breaking away now. We're waking up.
He was talking about the Aldobrandinis, the Break Spears, the Chigis, you know, the Orsinis, the Pallavicinis, all the Inis from Italy. Let's continue, folks. We're almost out of here. Shout out to No. Shout out to the chat. Thanks for coming through. Happy 420. And peace and pineal power to y'all, as always.
Most Western cultures see the butterfly as elegant, graceful, and full of beauty. It's a symbol usually attributed to life, hope, or remembrance of a loved one. So why is it that the Illuminati frequently use this symbol to mark their subjects of mind control, otherwise known as monarch programming, MK Ultra, MK Naomi, or Manchurian candidates? Make no mistake, mind control is a real thing. The CIA programs MK Ultra and MK Naomi are declassified programs which ran from 1953 to 1973 and engage in illegal activities of subjecting unwilling participants to drug use, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of psychological torture to control their minds. And you thought it was only the Nazis. There's a ton of information out there on MK Ultra, and there's a wealth of information on the internet about its history. However, we're going to look at the mechanisms of mind control developed by the CIA as still being used in the entertainment industry and how it applies to the symbol of butterfly. Hey everybody, this is Mike with On Point Preparedness. The elite, the Illuminati, controllers, handlers, whatever you want to call them, they always leave symbols in plain sight to mark their work. As you can see from these series of pictures, several celebrities are frequently seen with the monarch butterfly. It is especially occult when you see them place the butterfly over one eye or over the mouth. There are so many instances of this very odd placement of a butterfly that one has to question exactly what meaning they are trying to convey. If you do some searching around the internet, you'll find a very common explanation. Just as the monarch butterfly goes through metamorphosis, these controllers or handlers of these celebrities are using mind control techniques to morph the minds of their subjects. Probably one of the most blatant examples of this is with the celebrity Amanda Bynes. You can see her here in this milk commercial with a butterfly on her nose and the word metamorphosis below. Supposedly, they're saying the milk is the cause of the metamorphosis. However, just with any other MK Ultra subject, their mind breaks down from repeated insults. Here you see Amanda, who was a perfectly normal, talented, and strong actor/singer, completely lose her mind, shave half of her head, and post a series of very strange Twitter videos, such as this one, where she is twitching and jerking her facial expressions as she poses for a selfie. However, there is a much deeper meaning to the butterfly symbol, and I really don't believe you've seen this anywhere else. At least I haven't. The following quote is attributed to the Dalai Lama. As opposed to the picturesque view of a butterfly that Westerners have, the Dalai Lama says the butterfly is actually a very cold symbol. He says, quote, "The butterfly never meets its mother. It must survive independently and remains a stranger to affection. An animal nurtured by mother's milk, however, is dependent on another for its basic survival. A child who grows up in a cold and detached home environment is similar to the butterfly, in that kindness is sparing. Once an adult, it'll be very difficult for that person to show compassion." The key to what the Dalai Lama said in that quote is that the butterfly is detached from its mother or family. And that's exactly what celebrity handlers try to do, distance the family as far as possible from their target. Here's a story of Billy Ray Cyrus talking about how his family is under attack by Satan and how Miley's handlers were the main catalyst. He says, over time, something bad would happen in her career, and her handlers would try to get her dad in the picture so they could blame him for his parenting. It happened so much that Billy Ray had enough of it and decided to keep his distance. At this point, her handlers went wild and took total control of Miley. In this news clip, her handlers were, quote, concerned about a missing phone with incriminating pictures of Miley. Billy Ray asked her handlers what was going on, and they said, quote, "It was none of his business." He says, "I'm dealing with somebody that had only known my daughter for possibly 4 years, and I'm her daddy, and they're telling me it's none of my business." From that point on, things just went downhill. He goes on later to say that his and Miley's faith was greatly shaken, and that this was definitely an attack by Satan. Indeed, it definitely is. So not only do we see metamorphosis of a butterfly symbolize MK Ultra modification, or how splitting a subject from their family is much like the independent life of a butterfly, there's also one more symbol. The butterfly on the exterior is very beautiful. However, it's very fragile as well. And this is exactly what these celebrities are. Behind all the professional photos that look like they have it together and are beautiful, their controllers and their handlers, the drug use, or whatever exposures they are going through, easily rip them apart like a frail butterfly's wings. You can see so many celebrities go through complete mental breakdowns after this programming starts to become too much. Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, Miley Cyrus, Amanda Bynes, and the list continues on and on and on. And there's not much else to say except the world is super evil, my friends, but we all know that there is one hope. As much as we hate to see these celebrities promote the Antichrist spirit, we must continually pray for them they turn back to Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and the Father. Very much like we hope Kanye West is turning back to Yeshua based on all his very peculiar behaviors as of lately.
It's my first Instagram joint, you know what I'm saying, that I did, specifically for Instagram, you know what I'm saying, and I wanted to make sense, so I want to give a special shout out to Kanye, you know what I'm saying, let him know that my prayers are with him, my family's prayers are with him, remind him that when God is for you, who could be against you? No one and nothing. Stand strong, brother. Stand strong, brother. Stand strong.
Operation Mongoose. MK Ultra. Since the early 50s, reportedly. Project Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird.
Here and leave here. Do you have any people being paid
By the CIA.
who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
Midnight Climax. Pigs. Stargate Project. Operation Northwoods. Project Pigeon. Operation Gold.
These classrooms are laboratories for future generations. And while these new tools may potentially help some 200 million students raise their grades, just how this all works out won't be apparent until they become adult citizens.
Good evening.
I assume my time is as good as anyone's.
Indeed it is. However, there is a voluntary donation for non-members. Most give a year. What's your game?
Poker.
Right this way. What's the limit? Well, there is none.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of your company before, Mr. Salas. Hello, Salas. Philippe Weiss.
All right, this is my third and final hit before we get out of here
You
for the
could say
night,
I'm
folks.
my inheritance. You don't have to go. Mr. Salas? I assumed I was amongst friends. Bet you 50 years. You must be young. When you've been 25 or 85 years like I have, no one only ran
Serious bubbler, man.
You learn to
Crazy.
appreciate what you have. And you seem to have a lot to appreciate.
110 days without smoking weed. That's a record for me in quite a long time, anyway. What is it pause for? I didn't make you pause. Let's go.
I call. Of course, some think what we have is unfair. The time difference between zones. I've heard that. But isn't this just the next logical step in our evolution? And hasn't evolution always been unfair? It's always been survival of the fittest. Raise you another 2 centuries. This is merely Darwinian capitalism. Natural selection.
We're out of here, folks. Much love.
Strong survival.